What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. It's your Friday start sit show. And as you guys can see, I got a new face here. We got Tim
What's
in the
going
house.
on?
What up, Rez? How you doing, my boy?
I'm living.
There it
Getting
is,
ready
man.
for another beautiful, exciting week of fantasy football.
I'm so ready, man. Here we go. Week 6 is upon us. And real quick, of course, for those of you guys who don't know, Tim's here with us from the Fantasy Frontline podcast, which you can, of course, get here. Make sure you get in the description, get in their YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button for them. They'll be, of course, broadcasting here on Get Right Fantasy Network as well. So make sure you tune into them. You guys are going live on Wednesdays now, I believe. And,
We're trying to move it. We're trying to move it. I think we're trying to get either Monday or Tuesday. Just whenever the schedules work out. So it's a little up in the air, but we're figuring it out.
That's why you need to hit the notification so you can get the alert when they go live. So make
Yes,
sure you
sir.
do that just like with us here, man. So we got Tony Clark in the house saying what up. We got Jonathan Smith saying what up. Live Q&A tonight, guys. So get your start sit questions ready, man. We're going to go game by game, go through all these games, let you guys know who we're starting, who we're sitting. But definitely send those questions there. We'll help you get to them, make those decisions for you with what we have. So before we kind of get into all that, what do you think about that Thursday night game, man? Another little snooze fest on our hands, huh?
I was disappointed. I was really thinking it was going to be a lot better than advertised. I don't know. I mean, Justin Fields has been catching a lot of slack lately, at least in Twitter, if you're paying attention even a little bit.
Right. Well, the biggest thing too is he had like one of his like better games, right? I think he scored like 19 fantasy points, had what, like 70 yards rushing or something like that. I mean, it was definitely boring, as Elle said. What up? What up?
What's going on?
Absolutely it was. And make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for us if you're new here, man. So definitely do it. But yeah, man. So we had a little snooze fest. I mean, it got a little exciting there at the end. So at least it was a little better than last Thursday night.
There's a touchdown.
Yeah, we did get a touchdown, barely, but we got one. Washington wins it 12-7, not even 20 points. It was a 38.5 point over under, so they definitely went way under that. But Washington was favored by one, so they at least they held up on that end of things. So we were kind of split. I know you posted in the thread to kind of asking people who they got. I picked Washington. People were Bears. We're all kind of split down the middle on that one.
I thought it was going to be a Justin Fields like coming out party. I thought it was, I mean, I did predict he would have his season high in passing attempts.
There you go. 29, I think they got to this time. First time over 22 or something like that.
I wasn't wrong. All right.
There it is. Even what do they say? Even a blind squirrel can find a nut every once in a while. Good job, Justin Fields. He got that one play though when he got tackled. It looked like he got all awkward, like with his hip or knee.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they actually didn't call that roughing the passer for Tom Bradying him. In the knee. They kind of outlaw those below the knee hits. I guess they figured they kind of got him in the thigh. Which is why they didn't throw the flag, and thank goodness, because if I had hit another roughing the passing penalty, I would have just probably lost my shit. So
it looked bad in real time. I thought
it really did.
I thought he hyperextended it or something.
Yeah. See, he's still young though. He just kind of walked it off. He's still young. He's nimble. He's spry. So it's all good, man. So so we'll get in. Go ahead.
You see him on the sideline taking yoga breaths.
Oh yeah, they made like a whole big deal about it.
He looks
we're about
stressed.
to see him on the we're gonna see him on the call map here soon, probably. So he's just trying to get that endorsement. That's good stuff, man. We got Tony Clark in here saying so worth the lack of production from Waddle the last 2 weeks and the bad QB situation. I'm Miami. Something starting Duvernay over Waddle. What are your thoughts? So he's thinking of starting Duvernay over Waddle. Who you like there, Duvernay or Waddle?
It's hard not to go with Waddle. I think another week for Skylar Thompson under center. Like, I don't expect him to be good, but I mean, he can't be worse. I don't think he was really expecting to play. And Yeah, I do like Waddle. He's a great talent. Um, let me just.
It's tough,
That's
man.
rough.
I
That's
I
rough.
I have a big gap though. I mean, I did drop Waddle all the way down to wide receiver 18 this week. Number normally kind of hovers, around that 12, 13 kind of spot for me.
Hmm.
But he did drop down to 18, and I have Duvernay here at 31. Maybe I move him up a little more. Of course, Bateman's out again this week. But there's still some guys that I'd like ahead of him. Just a little bit. But he's been doing all right. Duvernay's been doing well.
Yeah, he's solid. I'm probably I'm probably gonna go with Waddle. Giants are 25th in the league in rushing defense, so I'm thinking it's gonna be a big J.K. Dobbins game, a big Lamar Jackson game on the ground. Duvernay might get some deep balls thrown his way, but
Can
I
he
mean
cash in?
Duvernay was super involved. He was catching he was getting reverses, handoffs, dump offs. He was getting all kinds of looks. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lower scoring game.
I think it's still just going to be a Mark Andrews game.
Yeah, that too.
All of us Andrews owners out there definitely want that. But yeah, man, he's had definitely some productive games.
Hmm.
21 points, 12 points, 10, 9, and then 12. Not bad, on a kind of run first type offense, and with Mark Andrews being the number one option, that's definitely not bad. High end wide receiver 3, low end wide receiver 2.
Hmm.
Kind of for me with some, good upside. So there it is. And so yeah, so thanks for the question there, Tony. Keep them coming in the chat here, guys. We got another one from Dedicate in here. What's up, man? He says starter sit Dobbins or AJ Dillon. Who you got?
Probably go with Dobbins. I just talked about the Giants' rush defense, and I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to take too much of those carries away. Green Bay has the Jets this week. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, I
Plus, I
like.
got J.K. Dobbins in my Scott Fishbowl team, so
Oh,
I
there you
need
go.
him.
A little
That's
biased opinion
a
there.
little biased, yeah.
Hey, we got full disclosure here on Get Right Fantasy Network, guys. Full disclosure. But that's good. If we have them on our teams, that means it's not bad. If we're
I
saying
believe in
start
it.
them,
I
we'll be
believe in
riding
it.
with you. We'll ride or die with you on that one. I got Dobbins at 16 this week. I have Dylan down at 27. I think this is a big Aaron Jones game. They've kind of really been
Hmm.
cutting Dylan's work kind of back, interestingly enough. I don't know if that's just kind of maybe game script or maybe they just kind of got away from it a little bit. But we always say the cream rises to the top. The coaches are going to put the best guys on the field that are going to give production. Aaron Jones is just that dude. And really, he shouldn't really be coming off the field unless he needs to be spelled in all reality, or if they're running to
Yeah,
both of them at the same time. So I'm going J.K. Dobbins with this one. Just you want to keep seeing his playing time, snaps, and everything just to continue to increase. But he has a good shot at a touchdown, so um, that's why I like that. So Jonathan Smith's in here saying I got a random question. I love random questions versus like organized, nice and
yeah.
clean
Well
questions.
thought out.
Yeah, we don't want any of that here. So we got just a random question here for Jonathan. He says Keenan Allen. So I got a random question: Keenan Allen or waiver wire? Because if he's out, I have no one on my bench available, so I got to pick someone up off the wire. He said, for example, the best available would be Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby
So
Myers.
I think he's a good start this week. So definitely, and it doesn't look like Allen's playing this week from everything I'm seeing. So I don't even think I actually even have Allen ranked. Like that's how kind of sure I am that he's not playing. If he does, I'll throw him in there somewhere as like maybe a wide receiver 3. But I have Jacoby Myers actually right below Duvernay at 32, going
Oof.
against Cleveland. So not bad. He could move up a bit, maybe if Olave doesn't play, or, maybe I need to move Juju down a little bit too, but I expect some points to happen there. One of those Kansas City receivers has to pop off eventually, or it's just going to continue to be a Kelsey show over there. Either way.
Um, I do like Jacoby a lot, actually, Jonathan. If you go check out my last podcast I just did on
Ooh,
Wednesday, I talked about him not extensively, but I had a good bit about him. Jacoby Myers is getting a solid target share this year. I would like for that, or I truly believe that's going to continue. I think he's somewhere around 25% target share when healthy. Um, and I'm chasing the targets. He finally got his touchdown. That's why he had that breakout last week. I think he had 24, 25 points in full PPR. And he's really the target. He's the Christian Kirk of the New England Patriots. So I'm a target share truther. I'm always going to chase that target share, and he's up there for me. He's probably a low to mid wide receiver 2. I mean, as long as he's getting the touches, I don't see why not.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
ceiling, the
I
ceiling
probably should
quite
put him
isn't
above.
there.
I should put him above DJ Moore then, huh?
I would, yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'll make some adjustments here as we go. I had DJ Moore at 30, so I went DJ Moore, Duvernay, Myers, and then Curtis Samuel, and then I have Higgins down here at 34, just because I'm not sure if he's even really going to be ranked or not with that ankle, and big chance of re-aggravation, just like he did last week, and could put a 0 in your lineup if you do start him. So I'm kind of just pushing him down to kind of avoid him. But if he does play, low end wide receiver 3, hopefully, but definitely bumps up Tyler Boyd, who I have right at 36. If I probably take Higgins out, that's probably where Boyd will settle in for me. So
I like it.
It's what it is. All right. So Tony Clark in here saying, don't forget those 40K bets on those Seahawks +3, Geno Smith over that 231.5, and Walker over 68.5, and Benjamin of Arizona over 63.5, and the Seahawks Cardinals over 50.5. So he's going all in for the most part on this game. It's like a bonanza. We're hearing it everywhere. Let's just hope it's not a dud. Every time they start saying they have these, giant games, they end up being nothing. But we're all rooting for you, Tony, man. So we'll definitely, I'll be having one eye on that game the entire time for you. So good luck to your brother. And let us know how you're doing on that 1020 table right now. He was up a couple grand earlier when I was talking to him. So let me know. All right, man. So we got George in the house. What's up, LeBron? Our boy here from Australia, I believe. He's saying, I'm riding Rachaad White this week along with Fournette over AJ and Pollard. So do you like this play with Rachaad White and Fournette versus starting AJ Dillon or Pollard?
That's a risky play. I'm gonna be honest. I'm super big on Fournette, but against Pittsburgh, I would. Yeah, I don't hate it.
Against Kansas City, he had 3 carries.
Probably over AJ. Yards.
For over AJ, you like it? I'll
probably play over AJ. Yeah, I'll put Pollard over Rachaad White, but I might put Rachaad White over AJ.
Yeah. I mean, he had 5 catches for 50 yards 2 games ago against Kansas City. Had 3 catches for 28 yards and then 5 carries and 14 yards. Only 7 points in a PPR last week against Atlanta. And then before that, 0-0, and then 4 against Dallas week 1. I mean, that's super risky. I mean, I guess you're assuming probably a blowout and they just sit Lenny and he can kind of eat up some garbage stuff. But for me, I'm probably going to throw Pollard in there over White. But either way, man, let us know how it goes. And those are kind of sometimes the moves you gotta make. So there it is. Where's all this starter sit Rachaad White? Did I miss something? Like what's going on with all these Rachaad White questions right now?
Ever since Rachaad White stole that one weird drive where he got all the goal, he was in for the whole drive. It was completely random and awkward. And fantasy owners were so mixed about it right now.
Apparently, this is like the most Rachaad White's gotten airtime here in a long time.
It depends on who you're starting him over. Who else do you got in your lineup? Because Rachaad White is fairly low in my rankings personally.
Yeah, I don't even think I have him ranked like in my top 50. So that's tough. I'm gonna have to go revisit some things. But yeah, he wasn't on my radar at all. But I like it, man. Let us keep us in the wokeness, I guess you would say. I don't know.
Maybe we're missing something.
I don't know. There must. I mean, Fournette we got the flu game going on. Did he get bad pizza delivered to his hotel room, or what's going on here? We got Jonathan Smith in the house saying also Najee or Jeff Wilson. I can't believe it's come to this for Najee. By the way, I can't. Well, I can say I believe it because I was fading Najee all draft season long, and this week I'm saying start Wilson over Najee, and I'm pretty sure I have it ranked that way. I'm not just talking out of my ass. How you feel?
I'm also taking Jeff Wilson over Najee. As long as Tevin Coleman at the ripe old age of 46 doesn't snipe a couple touchdowns, then Jeff Wilson should at least get one.
At least, right? So yeah, you got Jeff Wilson going up against Atlanta in Atlanta. I have him actually as my running back 12 this week. Najee I have down at RB 22. So I'm definitely starting Wilson over Najee. So I can't believe it either, my guy. I can't believe it either.
Atlanta right now is dead in the middle. They're 16th in rushing yards per game, their defense. So I believe the San Francisco run offense is much better than the middle of the pack Atlanta run defense.
The Niners, J Media, and I'll say our Niners, J Media, right here, number one rushing defense in the league at the moment. So we'll see.
Oh my God.
But Jonathan has the best question of the night right here, man. He says, "What's up, fellas? What happened to the statch, my guy? What happened to it?"
Man, the wife didn't like
no?
it.
I was gonna say that's
she said it had to
happened.
go.
All right.
She wasn't feeling the tickle,
She wasn't feeling it. I like it. Great question. Question of the night so far, J Media. He's hitting us with a trade question here. He says someone offered him JT and CH for Derrick Henry and Ken Walker. What are your thoughts? Give me Henry and Walker.
Yeah, JT looks terrible. CH looks extremely efficient.
We've seen his floor now.
Unsustainably efficient. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rock with Derrick Henry and Ken Walker.
Man, there it is. I'm right there with you, man. So say no. Get away from me. Give him the stiff arm on that one. Tony said, I'm up $8,000 now. Going to play till the end of the stream. Been playing since like 9:30 this morning. So there you go. Whew. Just grinding away over there, my guy. That's what's up. All right. Jonathan said, I don't trust CEH. It looks like he's losing his role. So if I were you, I'd stick with the Henry side. So there it is. Evan Harrison in here saying, I traded Mixon for Sutton. That leaves me with Lenny, CMC, Mixon, Dobbins, also St. Brown, Pittman, Cooks, and Dobbs. Should I trade Lenny and – oh, absolutely.
God, you got
If you can get Justin Jefferson, you do. And if it only costs you two guys, do it. Definitely. Sure. Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, so you'd still have CMC, Mixon, and Dobbins. You still got 3 running backs.
So you would
and you'd have JJ.
JJ with St. Brown.
Yeah.
Pittman and Dubs. I mean, hopefully Pittman gets back on track. He would trade Cooks. Hopefully he can get Pittman back on track. If not, I think Dubs is a nice floor play for your flex.
I actually thought that was Dalvin Cook. I didn't even realize it said Cooks as in Brandon Cook, so that's even more smash. Like, I would literally trade Lenny and Dalvin Cook for Justin Jefferson, let alone Brandon Cooks. So absolutely hit that button. So that's just for me. And Fantasy Fish out here saying Warren's greater than Najee right now. I'd have to adjust my rankings out here, Fish. What's up, buddy?
Shout out to Fantasy Fish. That's a good buddy of mine, a friend of my podcast. He's yeah.
So what's up? I think you brought him into our. I think you brought him into our Friday night mocks. So I think he came in through that, and then I think that's how we all got in that co-managed podcast league that Mike and I are bombing on. And you guys aren't doing too great. You're just right ahead.
We're injuries, man. If we can get.
We'll get back. Devontae. It's been bad, man. So we're trying to battle, man. We got our first win last week. We're 1-4. We're trying to climb back up that mountain right now, but we're starting DJ Dallas this week in that league. Oof. So that's how tough it is right now. That's how tough it is right now.
Just to expand a little bit on Jaylen Warren versus Najee, I don't know if you've watched personally. Jaylen Warren looks a lot more efficient than Najee does, like a lot more productive. So completely understandable why some people might see that, but I don't know if the volume's going to be there from a fantasy standpoint to actually like warrant playing Jaylen Warren over Najee.
It's almost like the Jacksonville light backfield. You got like that young explosive guy that's super efficient that comes in, almost kind of like that Dallas backfield as well too, with Pollard and Zeke. It's kind of one of those kind of things. You got that big plotter type guy, and you got that electric guy. He only may need 10 carries. So yeah.
Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Yeah, I got handled.
You're good. All right. So you guys are going to get full screen of me right now till we get Tim back. But keep it coming, man. And I'll just take this moment real quick just to let you guys know, man, make sure you hit and check out underdogfantasy.com. When you do, use that promo code Get Right so that you can get a 100% deposit match, man. They'll match you up to $100. Get in their pick'ems. Their best ball resurrection just ended, running week 6 through 17. So hopefully you got into that. But if not, you can still do their weekly drafts with the main slates, things like that. Of course, their pick'ems, over unders, rivalry picks. Who's going to score the most TDs, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. You can win up to 20 times your money. So definitely go check them out, underdogfantasy.com. Also, I want to take a moment to shout out the other affiliates here with Get Right Fantasy Network. Of course, my co-host tonight, Tim, with the Fantasy Frontline podcast. We also have the Checkdown podcast with Cody and Shirtless Pat and the fellas. They stream on Wednesdays at 5:30 Eastern. And then we have, of course, WAGMI Fantasy, our boy Colin. Make sure you go check out his website at wagmifantasy.com. Great articles, great website. Has his rankings, his audio podcast that he does. And the biggest thing is just make sure you get in there and sign up for that Winning with WAGMI newsletter. All the information, your start sits, your waiver wires each week emailed directly to you. So go check them out, wagmifantasy.com. And I was supposed to bring their stuff up on the screen. Check down podcast, of course, my boy here with the Fantasy Frontline, and then WAGMI Fantasy, of course, so you guys know if you're in the right spot. So go check them all out. Links are in the description. Hit those subs for me. All right. So I thought I'd run the promo while you were gone.
Hey,
so
good timing.
utilize the good timing there. So again, let's get into it, man. Keep dropping your guys' questions. We're going to try to get on track here just a bit. And go through our game by game breakdowns. A lot of the people, of course, you guys are going to be asking about, we're probably going to cover here as well. So definitely, keep them dropping here and we'll get to them. So let's start off and actually break down a game. What do you think? Only been on here for about 25 minutes. Haven't even touched one game yet. How about
Not
that?
one.
We love it.
Which one you want to start with? You want to start with your 49ers?
Yeah, where else do we got to start, man? That sounds like a good place for me. Just to let you guys know, man, we got 13 games on the slate this week. It is 4 teams on a bye. So just remember we got Detroit, Houston, Las Vegas, and Tennessee. So you're missing guys like Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Carr, Waller, Renfro, Pierce, Cooks, Swift, Williams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jared Goff's out of there, which is probably a good thing. So a lot of actually fantasy relevant guys are just gone right when people are needing to get wins. So this is going to be important here. Some of these names that you can throw into your lineups help get you by for a week, or if you have them on your bench, you can throw them in there and get you by. So let's start with the San Francisco game, man. We got the San Francisco 49ers 3-2 at the Atlanta Falcons, who are 2-3. My Niners are favored by 5.5. It's a 44.5 point over under. As far as injuries go, looks like Kyle Pitts is going to play. So he sat last week. I think for the Pitts owners, it was probably better when he was out, so you can.
It really
didn't
was.
feel bad starting another tight end there. So I feel bad for you guys. If you're here with us for our Friday night mocks, we would have just told you to fade Pitts. But for those of you guys who didn't listen to us and went ahead with it anyway, let's just start there. Are you starting Pitts this week? Or are you looking for someone else?
Honestly, at this point, I'm not starting Pitts. I need to see something before I can put him back in my lineup. The floor or the ceiling is so low for him that it's really not even worth it. You might as well take a flyer on Tyler Conklin or something like. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
That's brutal. Ooh, let me try to fix my camera here while you got it. There we go. I think we're all right here. Am I good? I'm good. But yeah, so who else? I mean, what other kind of guys are you starting over Pitts this week? Are you starting Taysom Hill over Pitts?
Yeah, I'll start Taysom Hill over Pitts.
All right. What about Cameron Brate? He's back this week off his concussion. You starting him over Pitts against Pittsburgh?
No. I like Cade Otton. He looked really good in his playing time. I think he's going to really cut in to the snap share over there from the tight end position. And I think they're going to look to get that rookie going over Cameron Brate.
Absolutely. J Media, go Niners, of course. I got one more for you. What about Dawson Knox coming back this week? Are you playing Dawson Knox over Tyler Pitts?
Yeah.
Tyler. What's his name? Whatever his name is.
Yeah. He's a bench player at this point. Uh, yeah, I'll play Dawson Knox over him.
All right. I'm going to hit
Casey.
you with one more.
All right.
Hurst. Hayden Hurst, if he plays, are we going that low yet? Evan Ingram?
I'll take Hurst.
Jr.?
I'll take Hurst. I'm not going to take Ingram.
Okay, so that's where we draw the line. All right,
Yeah.
I had to find out where you drew the line. We had to find out. Evan Ingram is it. I would draw the line as well. There. All right. So as far as everybody else in this game, what about the quarterbacks, Jimmy G, Mariota? Are they seeing lineups this week for Jared Goff or Ryan Tannehill, something like that, or you pretty much?
Yeah, I like Jimmy G as a streaming option this week. Atlanta is allowing the fourth most passing yards in the league right now. If Brandon Ayuk, you can fire him up. Deebo Samuel, of course. I don't want to harp on that. George Kittle. Really, this entire San Francisco offense, I think it's going to be a good game for you guys. So I'm smashing the spread. I'll take that 5.5 all day, San Francisco, and I'll take the over on total points because I think Atlanta's going to score a little bit, even though you guys have a very solid defense. I think they'll find a way to score.
We're banged up on the defensive side of the ball.
Is Bosa out?
IDP looks like I hope he's out. Like I don't want him to play. I don't want him to play this week. I hope they keep him out. We shouldn't need it to beat Atlanta. So I hope they do sit him. Obviously, we're missing a lot of people. Mosley, it's rough for us. But we'll see, how they do, if they can rally in, and see how it goes. How about the receivers in this game? Obviously, we're starting Deebo, but how do you feel about Ayuk and London?
I'll fire both of them up.
Okay.
I'm not saying this is going to be like super high scoring game, but I think it's definitely going to be higher than that over. Than that was 44.5. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And then what about the running backs in this game? I mean, I already said I have Wilson as my RB10 this week, so he's a must start for me. Yep. What about like a Tevin Coleman? Are we worried about any production there from him? Is he fantasy startable? And then what about Tyler Algier on the other side of the ball?
I mean, due to injuries and bye weeks, I can see him being, a solid streaming option. There's always a possibility he can snipe Jeff Wilson. I really hope it doesn't happen, but it's a real possibility that could happen. Tyler Algier, that's a sit. I'm not touching none of these Atlanta running backs versus this San Francisco defense. I don't care how banged up it is. Algier didn't look all that great in his last game, and I don't expect him to look good in this game.
Man. All right. I'm probably there with you. I'd try to fade Algier if I could this week. Obviously, a lot of guys, on bye, Derrick Henry, this and that. Hopefully you have someone to throw in there. If you don't have anybody, obviously, at least throw him in. He should get the volume, being the primary ball carrier. It's just, what type of efficiency you're kind of just hoping for, something like last night or, Thursday night with, or it was last night. With Brian Robinson, you get a buff punt inside the 5 and he just barrels into the end zone. Like, you're just hoping something like that happens with Algier to at least make it worth the start. And then I have to bring this up from J Media. He said, "Oh yeah, Pitt screwed me from the IR spot this week." So not only having him in the lineup, he had him in his IR and still screwed him because he came back.
Oh, man.
So he couldn't drop his quarterback, Carson Wentz. And so he just played Carson and Scary Terry for a combined 10 points. Sheesh FML. So yeah, even Pitts from the IR. I'm telling you, Jay Media, like you should have known, man. You were here. We told you, fade Pitts, bro. Like, come on. Like, we're not right on everything, but like, come on, man. Later, great. Either Andrews or Kelsey. Avoid any tight end from rounds 3 through 7, 8, 9, and then just grab some guys at the end, man. These Everett's and Taysom Hills, who's not even drafted, scoring 3 touchdowns, out producing Pitts in one game from what he's done all year. So that's tough, man.
Pitts was supposed to revitalize the position. He was supposed to make it a more prominent position and, not such a desert wasteland. And we're just not getting it. And I'm so disappointed. I took him in the 3rd round. And that's why I'm drinking.
There you go. Well, there it is. we got your buddy in the house. What up, AJ? How's it
AJ.
going, man? Was supposed to be here with us. Had to handle some stuff there at the house, so hope everything's all well. We'll definitely catch you in here in another stream. So shout out to you, my boy. But appreciate you checking in on us here. So
Yes,
I'm sure
sir.
he'll hold it down in the chat. Definitely give your opinion. Our boy here, AJ's from the Fantasy Frontline podcast. So again, whatever he's answering in the chat, he's that dude in there. So hold it down for us, buddy. Get her
Yes, sir.
done. Absolutely.
I'll
All
see you
right.
next week, brother.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll move on, man. Keep the questions coming. We'll definitely get to them. I'll try to get the questions that you guys have in here already. I'll try to save them for the game that they're in, just so we can kind of keep on track here. You guys know if it was Mike and I, we would go with you for 3 hours, but I got Tim here. His eyes got this big when I told him about how long it might be. So I'm trying to keep it down. So we'll see, man. I don't want to overstay my welcome with him. So appreciate him for jumping on tonight. And big shout out to Classic Mike
good.
out there, man. He's getting married tonight, which is why he's not
Yes.
here. So congratulations to him and Mrs. Classic. So we appreciate it. And I hope you're not watching right now, man, on your wedding night.
You better
not be doing it, my guy. I'm sure he probably popped in for a second and popped out. But shout out to him. And again, congratulations, you guys.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get on to this next game here. We got the New England Patriots that are 2-3 at the 2-3 Cleveland Browns. Revenge game. It's kind of like revenge week almost. Got a lot of revenge games going on. But with all this player movement now, the revenge game isn't that big of a deal anymore, with all this kind of player movement. But we got Cleveland coming in actually favored by 2.5, with Jacoby Brissett at the helm. 43.5 point over under on this one. Mac Jones still dealing with that high ankle sprain. He's questionable, but we don't expect him to play. Same thing with Damian Harris. They listed him as limited all week, but we know he's not playing. They already said he was going to be out for 2 or 3 weeks. Just Patriots doing Patriot things. Nelson Aguilar's are also listed as questionable with a hamstring. He suited up last week. He should be a go as well. And then I don't think Myers made the list this week. So let's start with the quarterbacks here. Zappy and Brissett, are they finding your lineups this week, or are we holding them on the bench?
Holding them on the bench. They can sit. I don't like it. Not for this matchup particularly. You look at New England; they're 11th in the league and fewest passing yards allowed. Cleveland's 14th. So 2 top half teams, middle of the pack really, but top half teams. And both teams are very bad against the run. So I think it's going to be a very run-heavy game.
Yeah, and both offenses just love to run. So this is going to be a ground game, which, brings us to the running backs. Nick Chubb, obviously, we're starting. What do you think about Kareem Hunt? Are we going to get him in this game? You think he has a chance at a touchdown?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm firing Kareem Hunt if I got him.
Okay. Other side of the ball, the big name this week, Ramondre Stevenson, obviously, with Harris going down. This guy was like gold. I was able to deal him in a couple leagues, or not a couple, in one league. Got a real nice trade package together for that. That included Jamar Chase, Burrow, and Mark Andrews. I traded off Stevenson, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts, and somebody else with that. So it was an interesting package that we had. I also got Burrow. I think I said that too. Me and Dem Boys. Shout out to Dem Boys. But yeah, Stevenson. I mean, where do you kind of have him ranked this week? I mean, he's a must start.
Absolutely a must start. He is RB1 territory for me. Cleveland is allowing the 4th most rushing touchdowns per game at 1.6. Believe they have allowed the 5th most rushing yards per game at 138. I'm looking to see Ramondre go off. If there was ever a time for him to go off and put up a 30 burger, this is the week.
There it is. Maybe I need to move him up more. And I want to correct myself. I think earlier I said I had Jeff Wilson at RB10. I actually have him at RB12. I have Ramondre Stevenson at RB10. That's what was sticking on my mind. So there it is. He's a must start for me.
I like it.
Do you think Pierre Strong Jr. or Kevin Harris, who they called up off the practice squad, is Belichick going to do some Belichick things here right when we think Stevenson's going to just take this huge workload and have a 30 burger? Is there a chance that one of these two guys take most of the first and second down carries and maybe a couple goal line carries? Like, do you have that in your head just a bit? Like, is Belichick going to do this to us?
I mean, you always run that possibility with Belichick. Like, I'm always scared starting a New England running back,
And
but
that's why I sold him when I could. So high, guys, so
I,
high.
I I still love Ramondre. You know, he has the talent, he has the build, he has the footwork, he has everything you're looking for in a running back. I do see Pierre Strong or Kevin Harris, one of the two, kind of stealing some workload. Maybe get 5 touches, maybe some relief work, but realistically, this should be Ramondre's backfield, and I'm gonna go according as such. And if anything happens, I'm just gonna blame Belichick like I always do.
There you go. Easy out. Easy out for us analysts and the predictions that just say it's New England.
Yeah.
What did you expect? I'm not surprised. As far as the wide receivers go and pass catchers here, obviously it sounds like you really like Jacoby Myers this week, so it sounds like he's a start if you can get him in your lineup. What are we doing with guys like Devontae Parker, Nelson Aguilar? Are we starting those guys, or are we fading them this week?
I'm fading. I'm not touching anybody but Jacoby in that offense.
Okay. What about the other side of the ball? You got Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, or either one of them getting in your lineups as well with this pass defense?
You can see Amari Cooper have a good game simply from a volume standpoint. But he's so hit or miss. I believe he's had like 2 games or 3 games over 20 fantasy points and like 2 games under 5 or something like that. And it's super hit or miss. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a missed game, considering he just
home road splits. That's why I was telling you guys I was fading Cooper again all the time. I can't deal with that up and down nonsense. Did the same thing in Dallas, did the same thing with the Raiders. For whatever reason, he can play at home, and for whatever reason, cannot play on the road. I'm just not having that. so that's why I was fading him. What about the tight ends here? We got Hunter Henry and Njoku. Are either one of these guys getting in your lineups this week?
I like both of them, actually. Let me verify that Jonnu Smith is out, but I'm pretty sure he is. He's still questionable with the ankle, inactive last week. I like Hunter Henry.
Whoa!
Wow.
Dogs, hey, man. Anything happens live, man. There it is. There it is. Hopefully they're all good over there.
Yeah, they're cool.
Having a little fun.
Like brothers.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a little bit of between brothers, right?
So, yeah, I'm going to go with Hunter Henry and Njoku. I do like the volume Njoku's been receiving, and he's been producing on it. Pretty efficient. He might get a touchdown in the red zone. So, I like both of them.
Nice. And you starting Njoku over Schultz? Not going to lie, this is actually a question from me. Like for one of my lineups, personally.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, I had to sneak one in there. I answer a lot of questions. I got to get one of my questions answered at least once. Right? I got questions too.
Yeah, Schultz has been iffy this year. He's been dealing with that PCL. It's been bothering him, and it shows. And he just hasn't performed the same. So I do like Njoku to finish, possibly a top 8 tight end this year.
There it is. I like it, man. So yeah, I have him in there. And again, I see you guys' questions in here. I'm going to try to wait till we get. I want to make sure we didn't miss anyone for any of these games here we're talking about. But I see you guys in here. I see you here, Super CNB Challengers. You're new to the channel here, it looks like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for us. We are actually going to be giving away a signed Gabe Davis jersey when we hit 600 subscribers. We're getting pretty close, guys, so make sure you do that. So there it is. Boom. 600 subscriber giveaway. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, hit that like button for us. There's another look at it. That thing's awesome. It's sweet. So again, get in there. But until then, we'll answer this question here. PPR, Mostert, or Ken Walker?
Ah, man. Give me Kenneth Walker.
I'll take my chances with Walker too.
Yeah. Mostert's been good, but Walker should receive all of that workload, and I think he could have a very big game this week.
Yeah, I have it pretty close. I have Ken Walker at 18, and I have Mostert at 21. So good question. It's really close for me.
Yeah.
But I'll take the chance there with Ken Walker. Gino's playing good. Think they might have a better chance to score. And we've seen him break a big run already, which is good. So we'll have at it. So again, appreciate it. Has the second question here. So definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button for us if you haven't already. Also pick 2, Pittman, Mike Williams, Olave, or Christian Kirk.
Gotta go with Williams.
So Williams for sure. I agree there. I think the second one's a little harder. Olave is questionable, but it looks like he's progressing through the protocol. Christian Kirk kind of coming off a dud game. Same thing with Pittman. Matt Ryan didn't look great last time we saw him. Which way you lean in here?
If Olave plays, I'm probably starting Olave. And in a PPR, give me Christian Kirk over Pittman. That feels hard to say.
That is a little crazy, huh? I gotta find out what I do with. Man, he's good. Man, I have all these guys right next to each other. So, I have Pittman at 14. I have Christian Kirk at 17. And am I ranking Olave? Nope, I have him just down here at 27 just because I'm not sure if he plays or not. If he plays, I'll probably put him up right in the mess of the thing. So I guess with that said, I'm feeling still Pittman Jr. against Jacksonville versus Kirk against Indy. I think Indy has a little bit better defense there. So that's just me. I'd go Pittman and Williams. We got there.
Fair enough.
We got there. There it is. Real quick here, DD Solo Cup in here saying, who can I trade McLaurin for? Anyone you can get, bro. Anyone you can get.
In a dynasty league that, I traded him to another contender, I believe. I traded McLaurin for Jacoby Myers straight up.
Okay.
I'll do that.
He said he'll take it. Ooh, that's spicy right there. I like that.
I mean, at what point are we gonna stop, putting McLaurin on this pedestal? The whole thought process behind where he was being ranked is for him to make the ascension into that fringe wide receiver 1 territory, and it just doesn't look like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it this year, whether it's wins, whether it's the offense, like who knows what's all going on there. Turmoil going on between coaches. Obviously, we all saw what happened with Rivera at the end of last game and all that drama. I'm kind of, I'm a big Brian Robinson Jr. fan still. I was so happy he got in the end zone, or else that would have been a dud of a game. But you'd like to see those 17 carries. We didn't really get into that, talking about the Thursday Night Football. I don't know how I didn't mention that, but my boy did good there. So we'll see, man. So again, we do our trade shows on Wednesdays. So make sure you come back on Wednesday, and we'll kind of see what happens after this week, kind of ends. But I would try to, see you can get, obviously, you played already, so no one's going to trade for him this week. So again, come see us on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific, and we'll definitely get into that and see who we can get then. Because, whoever we say might get hurt this week or something, even though we don't want that. All right, we got Isaac Pekka in the house here saying, I need to upgrade my wide receiver. My wide receivers are Deontay, Keenan, Amari, Bateman. I'm holding Brees and Lenny, but I'm going to sell Dylan. Who should I try to target? I don't know if you can get much for Dylan right now.
I think I'd try to you think you can get Sutton for Dylan?
I don't think so. You probably have to add to it.
Yeah.
Like most people who drafted Sutton were kind of real big Sutton fans. I don't know if they'd want to sell that low right now on him personally. But
Isaac, you can get Lockett?
Maybe Lockett.
Lockett's a wide receiver 8 right now.
It's crazy. I know. I noticed that too. I've been talking hella shit on him too to Mike, and he's like trying to get. I'm like, bro, why are you trying to get Lockett? And then he's just like telling me all these stats. I'm like, bro, that don't even mean anything to me. And then I look, it was wide receiver 8, and I'm like, damn. I guess he's pulling a Christian Kirk on us. But we all know Lockett has these games, and then he'll just disappear for like 7 games straight, right when you get comfortable. So that's why I don't like messing with that. So, but you might be able to get him. Like maybe you can get London. Maybe you can go get Mike Thomas with him hurt. Maybe that Mike Thomas owner right now is like, I'm not trying to deal with him. I would try to sell Dylan for Thomas if you could. That might be a good one. Someone like that. Yeah. Tony Clark in here saying for wide receiver 2, Sutton, Amari, or Cook. Which one do you like out of these guys? I think Sutton on this one for sure, even with Wilson's issues.
Yeah. Give me Sutton.
All right. Let's see. We got Perry in the house here saying my buddy just offered me Pittman, Jeff Wilson for Devonta Smith, Deontay Johnson. What do you guys think?
I think I'd rather have the receivers. Jeff Wilson's probably good for another 2 or 3 weeks, and then Mitchell's due to come back soon.
And then that's going to be a mess of a backfield.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think Pittman's the best player in this whole trade overall. But even still, even with Johnson not really kind of playing that well right now, it could still come together. Their defense is terrible, so they're going to be a negative game script. He should be able to still see the targets. I think he had total targets even last game, just didn't do much with it. I mean, Devonta Smith has some blow up games. We see what his potential is, but we've also seen him put up a goose egg already this year too. So you know what his floor is, and you know he definitely has the ceiling. So again, just depends on how you like playing your fantasy football on this one. I think he has a second part to his question right here. He says, "Oh, he would be getting Pittman and Wilson." So yeah. Oh, so it's the other way around.
I'm keeping what I got.
Okay. Yeah, I'd still stay with Smith and Johnson myself. So cool. Fantasy Fish saying, are you guys still avoiding the Rams running backs like a plague? I know I sure am.
I mean, Cam Akers is out.
Yeah, follow-up question. Is Darrell Henderson even worth flexing with Cam out? Their running game is sheesh. So kind of 2-for-1, 2-for-1 question right there, back to back.
Hey, y'all gonna stop coming for my team like that, all right?
Oh man, you're picking all the good guys this year, Tim.
Yeah, give me Darrell Henderson. We got Carolina. They just changed their coach. I don't know what they're gonna do on offense. I like us to build a lead. Surprisingly, I think that O-line is going to hold up against Carolina. They're not a great defensive line. So, yeah. I think Darrell Henderson's a solid start.
Yeah, I just think because of the defense they're going up against, I actually have Henderson at at RB17 this week. I have him actually ahead of Ken Walker, ahead of Robinson, ahead of CEH, and ahead of Mostert. But I'd play guys like Dobbins, Sanders, Gordon, Brees, and Jeff Wilson ahead of him. So just to kind of give you an idea there. So cool.
I mean, my thought process: Carolina is giving up the sixth most rushing yards a game at 137. I mean, you might see Kyron Williams or something steal a few touches, but really, Sean McVay is going to trust Darrell Henderson. He likes him, and I look to see Darrell Henderson get at least, somewhere in the realm of 15 to 20 touches.
I'd like to see it, right? Hopefully 3 or 4 catches at least, maybe even better 4 to 5. That would be nice. So he's still been actually having some good receptions, even with Cam Akers. I think he had one game where he just had like 5 catches and no even carries, right? And so
sounds about right.
Yes. My bad, bro. It's like turning a fork in you. Oh, my bad. My bad. All right, we'll get off that one.
I'm just trying to live.
Hey, we'll get off that one. But hey, I got him at RB17, so I'm rooting for you on that one. All right, so we got J Media said, you guys like Devin Singletary this week against KC? Do I flex him or Christian Kirk versus Indianapolis? See, J Media, this is my fellow Niner fan right here. This is how you set up a question right here. Like, let us know who they're playing. We don't got to go research it. We can just boom, give you the answer right away.
Well, yeah, I mean that is the proper way to set up a question. I appreciate that.
Only thing better was like if it was 12-man, 10-man, PPR, non. I mean, then you would have had the whole thing in there. But we'll work with this. We always assume PPR unless you tell it's different.
That should be the way everybody's playing is PPR.
See, there you go.
If you're in standard leagues, I'm disregarding everything you have to say. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, we just saw Josh Jacobs go off against KC. I like it. I like Devin Singletary. Oh man, who's boy the cornerback for Indianapolis? He played for New England. Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore is probably going to be covering Christian Kirk. Could be a tough day. I think he's still going to get a decent amount of volume, but Devin Singletary should give you a solid floor.
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about with Singletary is like even when they were blowing out Pittsburgh, like he didn't get any run. Like I thought he was going to put up a lot of points. They started blowing him out. I'm like, oh, this is just going to be a Singletary game. They sat Allen, but Singletary still did nothing. So that's the only thing I'm worried about. With that. And I mean, it looks like, Josh Allen trying to be MVP this year. So they're like almost abandoning the run game. So
He is
you know
the
what I
run.
mean? That's why, yeah, I was gonna say. So it's tough. So I dropped him down to my RB25. I couldn't quite have him in there as an RB2. But like you said, because of the matchup and because of the offense, you can't drop him. I just couldn't drop him any farther than that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have him at RB25 this week. And with that said, I'd probably go Kirk over Singletary. So that's just me.
Even after seeing what Jacobs did to KC last week.
But the Raiders run the ball. Like they run Jacobs. That's what they do. Like Buffalo's just going to throw on him. Like and it'll be Josh Allen running, in my opinion. So like that's just how I see that going. But I could be wrong. And then we get one of those games where I was going to go for 2 touchdowns. And a receiving touchdown, probably a 3 touchdown game, just because I said that. Christian Kirk's going to have like 3 points. So you know how that goes.
I try to do my analysis without banking on touchdowns. I try my best.
Right. No, because their touchdowns are so unpredictable. So yeah. All right. So we got the Lazard King or McLaurin rest of the season. I'm going Lazard. Yeah. That one's good. Kirk over single carry. well done. I like that. Well done, Solo. Think I could get Pittman or DK
for AJ Dillon.
Yeah, for his question above. I'd try for it for sure. Either one of those guys.
I mean, you might be able to. Yeah, you might. The Pittman owner could be feeling some kind of way.
Right. I think you have a better chance at Pittman right now versus DK because DK is coming off, some good games, and if they actually watch that game, he dropped 2 potential touchdowns on top of the one he already had. So, I mean, DK could have blown up last week. So, and which is again why Tony Clark's putting all that money on this game this week. So, so definitely shoot for those guys. Always shoot high for your trades, man. Don't settle. Shoot high and then negotiate down if you need to. But always try to shoot high as long as it makes sense for the team and you don't piss off the person you're trying to trade. Someone gets all in their feels about bad offers initially, but that's why I usually try to just hit people up on the text or in the chat and say, hey, I'm interested in this dude. Like, are you interested in moving him? What pieces are you interested in? I try not to tell people what they need on their team. I let them tell me because you could see it totally different than they do. So again, we talk about that more on our Wednesday buy sell trade show. So stay tuned, guys. All right. So we got Shane Jacobus in here. Hit that subscribe button for us, man. I don't think I've seen you in here before. So welcome to Get Right Fantasy Network. Make sure you get in that description and check out all the stuff we have in there. And again, for you guys that want to like post screenshots and stuff like that of your whole teams and really have us dive into your teams, we will do that. Just get in that description and hit that first link that you see at the top where it says join the Get Right Fantasy Network Sleeper community. It'll take you to our private thread where it's just all of us Get Right folks in there. You're not going to get the trolls and stuff like that. It's all going to be good sound advice. We have a lot of, experts, other people with podcasts, things like that are in there all day long, willing to, just be degenerates and help you with your teams. And this is just what we all live for, man. So get in there, utilize it to your advantage. It's basically a direct connection to us. It doesn't cost anything. Just support us with that subscribe. So we'll get to Shane's question here. He says, hey there, I'm in the process of trying to get Debo. I have Kyler, Cup, Judy, Lazard, Kenneth, Connor, Dylan, Jacobs, Kelsey, Gallup, Reynolds, Rashad, Pacheco, and I assume that's Cobb. So is there someone in that I should put into the trade, or is there someone I should try to get? So again, this is a tough one just to kind of do here on the stream. But I think you definitely have pieces that you can move here. Shane, just like I was kind of saying before this, just for the sake of time, join that channel for us. Drop that question in there. Let us know, it's you from the stream, whatever your sleeper handle ends up being. And I promise you, when we get off the stream, I'll probably jump in there and can definitely better help you out with that question, man. So we'll definitely help you out with it. So drop it in there, become part of the community, man, and we'll help you out. So again, no disrespect. I'd love to spend the time on it, brother. But we got to move along. I think we're only in like 2 games here. So, yep. And so he said, will do. So that's what's up. Appreciate that. So get in there and we'll go crazy on that a little better. So we got Kenny Stay Trill. Welcome.
What up?
Should I trade Mixon? Are you trading or holding Mixon at this point?
I'm holding. The volume is there. really looking at look at his stat lines. They look pretty decent. He's been more inefficient than he was last year, but he's not getting the touchdowns. As soon as he starts getting those touchdowns, that offense starts coming together a lot more. I think you're going to see him get back to doing RB1 numbers.
Yeah, I'm a hold with Mixon right now because if anything, you'd be selling him low.
Yeah.
So I'd rather at least wait for him to have a blow up game before you sell him off. If you're thinking it's more of a fluke than what's to be. So again, just depends on what your outlook is on it, personally and how you feel. Obviously you traded him, you saw some potential there. I had him ranked as high as my RB5 preseason. So I think that potential is there if the Cincinnati offense can just get their shit together. That's what we're all waiting for.
But the crazy part is they could click at any moment and
Just
nobody
like
would be
did.
surprised.
Not at all. It's still early, man. It's only 5 games
Yeah.
in, man. It's a long season, so just
Mhm.
hang in there, man. Personally, I'd hold him at least for his value to go back up. I wouldn't sell low. So remember, the name of the game is buy low, sell high, not buy high, sell low. Remember that,
Yes, sir.
guys.
Hey, but
All
shoot your
right.
shot. I'll try to sell him for more than he's worth right now. See if somebody else is willing to take that on.
Absolutely.
But only for more than he's worth.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you get someone that has him high, then absolutely. John Hernandez Gleaton, we got him in here saying, hey guys, first time in. So welcome, man. Welcome to Get Right Fantasy Network. He says, so what's the price on Keenan and Higgins?
That's tough. Are we
I've
talking
been shooting offers out for Keenan, man. I'm trying to buy Keenan low right now. Personally, he's part of that offense. Like he was drafted like that for a reason. Has he hit that over the hill mark yet? Like he's not bouncing back from this very easily. It could linger all year. And then obviously Higgins dealing with this ankle. Is it going to be long term? Where do you feel it's at? I was just trying to do that, give you some time to set you up, give you some time to think about it. So deliver me the goods now. See, I'm trying to be a good host.
I'm looking at it from. I'll put on my redraft glasses. I've always got my dynasty glasses on, so I'll pay a second for Keenan Allen, but no. Would you trade Keenan Allen for Tyler Lockett right now?
Who?
Tyler Lockett
for Keenan Allen in a heartbeat. I would do that in a heartbeat if I actually had. I think I was mentioning like I literally have 74 leagues, 64 of them are best ball, so I don't have to touch them. Right? Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. But I have 0 shares of Tyler Lockett. Like literally, actually no, I have 1 share out of all those teams. I have 1 share. So if I in that 1 share, I would trade him for Keenan Allen in a heartbeat, hurt and everything.
I think it's going to be kind of tough to get any of these players. I think they're both kind of valued at that low end wide receiver 1 range, and I'm considering buying them low since I'm 4-1. Both yeah. I mean, definitely try to go after. If I'm going to pick one, I'm going to go after T. Higgins. I think he's got a more realistic shot of sustaining health.
Yeah, little younger by a lot.
Yeah, Keenan Allen seems to get hurt every other year.
It's always some issue,
some nagging injury. But I do like Keenan Allen too. So
test the water. Try to get both of them. Yeah,
test the waters on it. Definitely don't pay full price. You said you're trying to buy them low. Smart move. What's their price? I mean, it's different for everybody. For me, I'm not willing to pay. I mean, I'll see if I can get Terry McLaurin, trade somebody in that range, Terry McLaurin for Keenan Allen. That owner might be willing to move if they're frustrated with them.
I like it, man. So yeah, definitely go after him. Let us know how it goes. And again, if you want to drop those teams in our private sleeper channel, which is like our Discord, it's free. Definitely get in there. Let us know see those teams, and I'll definitely dive into it a little deeper and help you try to pull something off there, man. I love getting into people's trades. J Media, I seen you ask this question already. I was going to save it for the Arizona game, but real quickly, how you feel about D-Hop rest of the season? Is he a buy, a sell, or a hold?
I don't really want to touch DeAndre Hopkins. I'm gonna be honest with
selling.
You. Yeah, I've got him valued somewhere like a mid wide receiver 3. I think Hollywood Brown maintains a large portion of that target share he's getting. And I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is good, but what is he? 31, I believe.
Yeah, man. Kids are playing a lot longer these days now, man. 31's like the new 21.
I mean, I could be wrong, but after missing, the amount of time that he's missed, he's probably going to get off to a slow start.
And still has a bye week coming up. So if I have him, the potential peak value for him is going to be right when he's coming back. So if you can off him this week and have him, be that piece that gets you over on something that really makes your team work, I wouldn't worry about letting him go. Again, he could still get injured, anything else like that. Like you said, Ertz has a good role there. Kyler's still running around like crazy. We'll see what happens with these running backs. But yeah, so I'm personally would be selling D Hop if I had him right now. But that's just me. So
I think he's the perfect package piece.
Yeah, that piece that'll push it over. You have that star power name, and it could go there. So we'll see. All right. So John here saying, and then we'll get to our next game breakdowns. We'll try to rattle a couple of those off.
Yes, sir.
So before you turn into a pumpkin. So John in here saying, I have Eckler, Herb, hoping they rest Keenan Allen after the bye, but the Higgins owner has Cook. But I have Madison, so wondering Deontay is better than Keenan or Deontay Madison for Higgins. I would try to do Deontay for Keenan. My bad. Go ahead.
I'm on the other side. I'd rather do Deontay Madison for Higgins.
Okay.
I think what you're going to see from Deontay and Keenan, is pretty similar. Deontay's going to get that target share. He's going to be a very high floor guy. I think his lowest target share this year is somewhere like 8, something like that.
Right.
High at 13. He's getting you, anywhere from 10 to 18 points a game. He hasn't had a touchdown yet. Eventually it's going to come. Yeah, I'd rather have Deontay.
Regression. Oh, so you're just saying even just with Deontay in general. Okay.
Oh, man. I don't know if that was you or me. Yeah, I'm on. Whoa.
Are we? I think you might be frozen on that. Oh, there you go. We came back. All right. So I think we're good. Can you hear me? You can hear me good? Can you hear me? Testing. All right. Well, we'll get him back in here, man. He'll get back in. Until then, we'll just get to this next game. Keep the questions coming, guys. We appreciate it. Again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for us here. So I think the next game we were on was going to be the New York Jets, 3-2 versus the 3-2 Green Bay Packers. We have the Packers favored by 7 with a 45.5 point over under. We had Rodgers dealing with a little thumb injury, obviously, was kind of wrapped up this week. Big news is Bakhtiari is back at practice this week. So in regards to these Jets and Packers, unless there was anything else you wanted to finish up on that last question, let me know what you think here about the quarterbacks in this one. Where do you have Rodgers and Zach Wilson? And the lineups are on the bench.
Zach Wilson's on my bench currently till further notice. The team just doesn't look like they want to let him loose quite yet. So really, it looks like they're trying to minimize his mistakes and his turnovers. And for that same reason, they're not letting these wide receivers go. I'm really sitting Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis. I might start Tyler Conklin. Somebody's got to get the ball. But fire these running backs up, of course. Breece Hall and Michael Carter Michael Carter's a solid flex play. He's getting touches. He's getting receptions out the backfield. But
the only thing that worries me about Michael Carter, though, man, is the 2 touchdowns that he had were because Breece fell down at the 1 yard line. I think Breece was actually in on both of those plays. They just ran a misdirection and ran Carter, and Breece went the other way. They didn't let him finish it off. So that's my only concern there, because if you kind of take those away, he wouldn't have had a great game. Wilson is looking a little better to me than kind of what I thought. Some of the throws and things and plays he's making are nice. But yeah, it's like, we need to put an APB out on Elijah Moore, and Wilson after that 2 touchdown game, and he went crazy, waiver wire darling, and basically hasn't done anything since. But yeah, so I'm pretty much with you on all those. We're starting Lazard. I like him. I'm sitting Dobbs and Cobb in this game. I mean, if you really need to start Dobbs, like as a flex, I'd be okay with that, I guess.
Yeah.
And the big question, of course, is just AJ Dillon. Are you starting him this week?
That's rough, man. Depends on who I'm starting him over. I would start him.
Okay.
I've got him in a league and I'm starting him up. So
Yeah, I think I'm firing him up too. I mean, I have him here as my RB27, so I have him in that flex range. I mean, I have him ahead of Elliott, I have him ahead of Kareem Hunt, and I have him ahead of Tyler Algier. So I think he has a chance there. So yeah, I mean, again, these aren't final. It's not written in blood or anything here. I might do some,
right.
tinkering Sunday morning. But for now, that's kind of where I have him. Just Hunt's usage has just been really weird. He went off like the beginning of the year and then just kind of really been tailing off. And because of that, Nick Chubb is actually like, RB2 overall right now, which is what we've all been kind of waiting for. And then now we're, it kills me that people are like, what's going on with Hunt? And I'm like, finally, they're sitting Hunt and just letting Chubb run. Like, stop bringing Hunt in when you get inside the 10. Like, Chubb has to score from like the 40 out, or else, if he goes down inside the 10, like, they're just bring Hunt in, and he seems like he would score every touchdown in years past. So, and who knows, maybe this is because of the whole contract situation and all that. Maybe they're just trying to, keep him off the field and not hurt, so that maybe they unload him before the trade deadline. So just kind of keep those things in mind too. So it is a business. All right, so let's move on. Keep the questions coming in the chat, guys. Comments, questions, whatever you guys have. Again, just want to shout out to John for hitting that subscribe button for us, man. Appreciate it. And remember, we are giving away a Gabe Davis signed jersey here when we hit 600. So we really appreciate that subscription, man. So good luck to you in the drawing. All you need to do is subscribe and, leave a comment when we get there on the 600. We'll drop a video. Just leave a comment. We're going to do a random comment picker. So it'll be a lot of fun. Make sure you catch that stream. We got Sober Thoughts in here saying, what's up, Grints? But he meant gents. But I kind of like Grints a little better. So what's up, man? Welcome. If you have any questions or anything, drop them in, or just definitely come hang out. Let us know your 2 cents. Help us answer questions in the chat. However you want to participate is all good with us. We got Tony Clark here asking Hunt or Benjamin in the flex and full PPR. Give me Eno.
Yeah, give me Eno.
We'll break down that game coming soon.
Seattle's
okay, go for it.
I just wanted to hit the Benjamin part real quick. I don't know if you want to get into the full game, but Seattle's allowing the most rushing yards per game, 170 yards per game.
Ooh.
We might see a Keontae Ingram sighting, but I'm fairly sure the coaches trust Benjamin, that he's been in the system for a while. He should see a decent amount of touches. And Absolutely. If they get in that goal line, look for Benjamin to punch it in.
Absolutely. We got Zachary Hewen here. What's up, Zach? He's saying, how's it going, guys? How are we feeling about Garrett Wilson? We were just talking about him. We just missed it. We're sitting him this week. We want to see more, from that offense. I mean, he very well could go off this week. I mean, we've seen his boom potential. But we've also seen his floor. So again, just kind of depends on what you're looking for. I don't think this is the matchup to really target this week against Green Bay. It's a tough defense they have over there, even though they've kind of didn't really play too well against the Giants, interestingly enough, last week. But I think they're
Saquon, man.
Yeah, Saquon is kind of just that dude. So, is what it is, man. So keep them coming. Which wide receiver would you trade Chris Godwin, Cortland Sutton, Devonta Smith, or Keenan Allen? So if you had to pick one of these guys to trade away, which one are you trading away?
Probably go with Devonta Smith.
That's where I'm going to.
It hurts me to say I love Devonta Smith, but realistically, it's not a super high volume passing offense, and AJ Brown's there. Yeah. I mean, yes, Devonta Smith, we've seen his ceiling, but I think that's just his ceiling. I don't think you can expect that, very often.
And remember, Herbert was drafted as a QB2 overall, and that had a lot to do with having Keenan Allen and Mike Williams at his disposal, along with Austin Eckler. Mike Williams and Austin Eckler have been doing their roles, but without Keenan Allen is what's kind of to me preventing Herbert from hitting that top two weekly upside. I think once they get him back, he's definitely going to be needed, and I think he is going to command the targets. I mean, this guy's a tactician when it comes to route running. Has really good hands and is just knows how to find doesn't really find the end zone as much, but just a lot of targets, man. He's always open, so the ball finds you. When you're that guy. Let's just hope he's that guy once he gets away with this. Gets done with the stupid hammy, man. Stretch that thing out, eat a banana, whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do. All right, so let's try to bang out some more of these games here. Anything else you want to add on that New York Green Bay game?
Not too much. Green Bay is allowing the second fewest passing yards in the league right now at 177, right in front of the 49ers. So, yeah, it's they got Jair Alexander, and I think he's probably going to be matched up on Garrett Wilson because I truly believe Garrett Wilson is their best wide receiver. So
there it is. Going to be tough sledding. All right. So next game we'll get into here, we got the 2-3 Jacksonville Jaguars versus the 2-1 Indianapolis Colts. We have Indianapolis actually favored by 2 in this one. 41.5. I was actually shocked by that. 41.5 point over under. I mean, technically, I guess they're not the favorite because they're at home. You get the 3 points. It's only a 2-point spread. All that kind of stuff. Right. Don't kill me, guys, for that. I know. But I'm just saying, I even thought with that, the game Indy came off of, it'd be a little worse. But again, 41.5 point over under on this one. Obviously, the big news on this one is JT dealing with that ankle sprain still. He was limited again here today on Friday, officially listed as questionable. They're feeling like he is going to play. Nyheim Hines also dealing with that concussion. Might clear the protocol tomorrow. So definitely keep your eyes on that and stay tuned for our Sunday morning active inactive show when we will get that news and really help you dial in your lineups then. Obviously Marvin Jones is dealing with a hamstring, and Zay Jones, the Jones brothers there, he's dealing with an ankle. Both of them are listed as questionable in this one. So as far as the quarterbacks, let's start there. Matt Ryan and Trevor Lawrence, are either one of these guys seeing your lineups this week, or are they most likely riding the bench?
Most likely they're riding the bench. If I have to stream a quarterback, Trevor Lawrence doesn't sound like a bad option. I know both his wide receiver 2 and slot wide receiver are nursing injuries, questionable, the Jones brothers.
Yeah.
And but I mean, that offense is still probably going to be fairly high volume. They like to get after it. They like to let Trevor Lawrence just let it loose.
Yeah. And he does have that running upside. I mean, he has it in college. He hasn't really shown it too much in the pros, which I think is almost smart. Like, they're not just running him like a running quarterback, but he still has that potential. I'd have to look up his rushing yards. I think one of the last games he actually had kind of one of his more highs for this week, but that's just going off this season. That's just kind of going off the top of my head. But the big thing, of course, with Trevor Lawrence is he wasn't turning the ball over, and then last week turned it over, I think 2 or 3 times last week. So you want to see him kind of cut down on those turnovers again. But yeah, I'm with you. If I'm starting one of these two, it's definitely Lawrence over Ryan. So let's talk about the running backs here. So obviously, if JT plays, well, I don't want to say it's obvious. So if JT plays, are you starting him this week? I mean, with past production. This front seven for Jacksonville isn't that bad. They've been playing well. He's obviously going to be nicked up, and probably even if he does play, not at 100%. So how are you feeling about JT if he is active?
Man, I think you got to start JT if he's active. Jacksonville in their last 3 games, they're allowing 117 rushing yards. Yeah, if JT's playing, put him in your lineup. This could be a very solid bounce back game. So I would like to see where it goes. And it's hard because he has a talent, obviously. He just hasn't had the year so far.
So if you had a team that had JT on it and you had Ramondre Stevenson, who's getting the opportunity this week, which one are you playing?
Oof. Give me Ramondre, man.
Ooh,
give me Ramondre.
I'm gonna have to make my switch. I have JT right now on my RB9. I have Ramondre as my RB10. Maybe
Just
I
due
make
to
that
matchup.
switch.
Purely off matchup. I'll take
Okay.
Ramondre.
Okay. And Taylor or Jeff Wilson against Atlanta this week? A less than 100% JT or Jeff Wilson?
JT.
Aaron Jones or JT?
Give me JT.
Kenneth Walker or JT?
Surprisingly, Arizona's pretty good against the run, so I'm gonna
Still
go
JT?
JT.
All right, so we're not getting crazy yet. We're not
Not yet.
getting crazy with the 101. So if he's active, throw him in your lineups. That means he should get some production. He's going to get the carries. Obviously, you just hope for no re-aggravation. So yeah. So as far as the receivers in this, well, if he doesn't start, are we starting Deion Jackson? Or are you sitting him?
I'll sit him.
Okay. And if Hines plays and JT is out, are you starting Hines?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't think I would either. So let's see. Wide receivers in this game. Pittman sounds like we're starting. Or no, let's go to the other side of the ball. James Robinson and ETN. What are you doing with these guys? Are either one of them seeing your lineups?
Indianapolis is actually 4th in run defense right now, at 96 yards a game this year. So I'm going to bench James Robinson, but I'll play Travis Etienne.
Let's go. Let's go.
I would like to see them get. I think they're going to get Travis Etienne in the open space, use him more as that pass catching option, and allow him to go to work.
Absolutely. I like it. All right, so let's go to the pass catchers here. We got on the Indy side of the ball, Pittman. Sounds like we're getting him in there. Even coming off a bad game, he's still commanding the targets. What about Alex Pierce, who's starting to turn into someone that Matt Ryan can trust? Are you getting him in your lineup this week with all the guys on a bye?
Yeah, I will. Alex Pierce, I think he had 9 targets last week, 8 or 9 targets, something along those lines. And he's just looking like the security blanket for Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan doesn't look super good. I don't think it's going to be a super high volume, but he had 8 receptions last week.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll play some Alec Pierce.
There it is. I like it. I'm throwing him in there too. There's another question from the Rasta head right there. So asking one of my questions, but yeah, I got Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas ruled out on me for one of my lineups. So Alec Pierce is seeing the starting lineup for me, and Josh Reynolds is on a bye, who had been thrown in there, making up for Thomas, but now I have to make up for Devontae. So it's pretty rough week 6 for me.
Reynolds was holding it down for you for.
He was. Hey, I'm 4-1, man. I'm not gonna. Hey, I'm not hating, man. I'm 4-1. I'm just not trying to be 4-2, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
So come on, Alec Pierce. Let's go. All right. So what about the tight ends in this game? Mo Alley Cox, Evan Ingram. Are you sitting them or fading them, or are you gonna sit them or fade them? Not even gonna give you the option to start them.
There shouldn't be an option.
All right, there we go.
The tight ends in Indianapolis, you just never know who's going to have the hot hand that week.
Right.
I think between Mo Alley Cox, Kylan Granson, and I forgot who the other guy was.
Jelani Woods.
That one. You're
supposed to be the dynasty guy. Come on now.
I knew his name.
That was good. See, I didn't even put those on my show sheet, so that's how you know it came off the top.
I like it
on that one. There you go.
Hey, keep me on my toes, man.
I got you, man. We got each other. So I did forget about. We kind of talked about the Jones brothers and Christian Kirk. Of those 3, it's Christian Kirk that's senior lineup this week, right?
Yes, sir. I'll play Zay Jones if he's playing.
Okay.
I like Zay Jones. I like Zay Jones a lot.
All right. I like it. All right. So we'll put a bow on that game. We'll move on to the next game here. Guys, keep your questions coming. We will get to them. Be patient with us. We just want to bang out some more of these games here. Let the questions build up, and we'll get to them here. So we'll move on to this next game. We have the Minnesota Vikings that are 4-1 at the Miami Dolphins, who are 3-2. We have Minnesota coming in favored by 3, 45.5 point over under. Obviously, Tua is not playing. He's already been ruled out. Teddy's still going through the protocol, could potentially clear it tomorrow. But even if he does clear, they're saying he'd only come to a backup role. So it is going to be Skylar Thompson getting the start this week. Raheem Mostert said he's playing, dealing with that knee issue, but he says he's in. Tyreek Hill, a lot of injuries here in Miami. Jeez Louise. We got Tyreek Hill dealing with that foot injury, left the game last week with the boot, but he says he's fine. Also dealing with a little quad injury as well. He was a full participant in practice this week, so he's good to go. Jalen Waddles basically should be shedding this groin injury tag. He was a full participant as well. So they look like they're going. As far as the quarterbacks go, Kirk Cousins, I assume most people are starting if they have him. He's kind of on that low, QB 12 type area week to week, but still a QB 1. So where does Skylar Thompson rank in, though? Are you going to take a shot on him this week if you're looking for a quarterback, or are you looking elsewhere?
I'll look elsewhere. It's sketchy, man. He's a rookie. I think he's like a 5th round pick. They don't usually pan out. So yeah, I'll avoid Skylar Thompson. I might, in a super flex, I'll put him on my bench and just see what happens. But
maybe he goes off. You could sell him to the two owner or something.
Yeah, I mean, why not? But right. I'm not taking the chance to play him.
There it is. All right, so let's move on to the running backs in this game. We have on the Miami side of the ball, you got Mostert, Edmonds, and we've even had a sighting of a little Myles Gaskin in here. So, on my notes here, I said if Mostert's out, but, later in the day, he definitely sounds like he's playing. But how would you rank these 3 running backs in this Miami backfield between Mostert, Edmonds, and Gaskin?
Just the way you said it.
Okay.
Mostert, Edmonds, Gaskin.
All right.
I think they tried the Gaskin experiment that failed. Mostert is a pretty solid back. I mean, if he's playing, he's putting up, anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20 points. 10 points is about his floor, I believe. And he gets enough volume to be fantasy relevant. Chase Edmonds just hasn't been involved. So if Mostert's out, I'll play Edmonds. I mean, I'll flex him if I need a flex. I know there's a lot of running backs out this week. So, yeah. It's not something I feel confident starting Edmonds, but you may not have a choice.
Right. And I pretty much agree with everything you just said. So we'll move on there. Obviously on Minnesota, we're starting Dalvin Cook. You're not starting Madison. We know that's a workhorse backfield. So normally these guys wouldn't be on the start sit, but because of the injury to quarterback and their own injuries, they're kind of dealing with themselves. What are we doing with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle this week?
I'll play Tyreek Hill. If I have a better option, if I have somebody, a third wide receiver ranked in the top 24, maybe even the top 30, I might play him over Waddle. I just do not trust these late round rookie quarterbacks. I don't trust them whatsoever. I think they could probably dumb down this offense a lot for them, and it could be a heavy run game for them.
See, and that's why I dropped him down to my wide receiver 18, only because these guys are so fast between the two of them. They can just kind of run screens or slants and just get these guys in space. And I still think they both could be productive. So I didn't want to just completely downgrade them because of the quarterback downgrade. But I did drop Tyreek Hill down to my wide receiver 12. I might actually drop him down a bit more. It was just kind of hard to start putting him past like Godwin and Pittman and Cooper and Lamb. Like I couldn't quite get there. But so as far as Jalen Waddle goes, are you starting Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle?
Give me Devonta Smith, man.
Okay, going up against that Dallas defense. What about Christian Kirk or Jalen Waddle?
Give me Kirk.
Okay, I have Kirk right ahead of Jalen Waddle. Look at that. I like him at 17. I was trying to trick you. What about Drake London or Jalen Waddle?
Give me Drake London.
Okay. See, I had him after Waddle. What about Alan Lazard going up against the Jets or Jalen Waddle?
Give me Waddle. It's close though.
Okay. What about our boy Lockett? Lockett or Waddle?
Lockett.
Okay. All right. I like it.
I mean, he's putting as much as I hate. I truly do not like the inconsistencies of Tyler Lockett. It like irks my soul. But he's the 8th ranked wide receiver right now, and you can't dismiss that.
Can't dismiss it, right? The proof is in the pudding, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
All right. So that's good, man. So I like that. What else do we got in here? Tight ends in this one. Or wait, obviously we're starting JJ. What about Adam Thielen? Is he getting in your lineups this week?
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty sure I have him as a start as well. I have him as my wide receiver 25. So I like him this week as well. He's been doing fine, especially lately. Kind of started off a little slow, but definitely been picking up the targets later. Of course, when they're rolling coverage to Mr. J Jettas over there, someone else is going to be open. And they got 3 people on that guy, and you better have 3 people on him, or else he's going to eat you up. 100 yards in a quarter, so you better watch out. You don't want to get embarrassed. That's like people lose jobs over stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like you might lose your cornerback job, you might lose the defensive coordinator job. Like the heads are going to roll when you have someone put up 122 in a quarter on you. So KJ Osborne,
so good. That dude's
he is, man. He's a stud, man. He's a stud. KJ Osborne, are you sitting him this week, or you find room
I will sit him this week. I do like KJ Osborne, but really he's super inconsistent. He's had one game of 8 target and one game of 5 targets, and the rest have been under 5 targets. So
KJ Osborne or Allen Robinson?
Ugh. Give me Allen Robinson for the.
Give it to him. All right, we got one person starting Allen Robinson in one situation.
If we get in the red zone, Allen Robinson's a target. If we get in the red zone, yes, he's not been good and he hasn't been converting, but he's gonna get a target.
The potential is still there any given week, right? And that's the hard part. He's like a train wreck. You can't look away, but you don't want to watch what you're seeing. All right. So, and then the tight ends in this game, pretty irrelevant, I would say. My boy Irv Smith Jr., who I really like coming into the year, just really hasn't been producing. And then Mike Gesicki, who I basically was fading. Our boy Classic Mike was big on him, but I even think he's coming down on that pick. So we sitting these 2 tight ends here.
I think you could see Gesicki get some work. I mean, rookie quarterback to a tight end, we see it happen often. Last week, Gesicki had 2 targets.
I was going to say, didn't he have 1 catch? I think he had 1 catch, right?
Yeah, he had 1 catch for 30 yards.
I was going to say, it was a big one. I was like, oh, here we go, Gesicki. And then you look at the box score, it's like 1 for 30. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's still irrelevant.
But after, a week of work and practice in the offense, you can see Gesicki have a decent game. I don't think he'll go off by any means, but, you could have 3, 4, 5 catches or something.
Okay. And I see you guys' chats in there. We're just going to try to bang through a couple more of these games. Keep them coming, but we'll definitely get to a stop and get to your guys' questions. So keep throwing them in there. We're not ignoring them. And again, if you're in here, hit that like button for us. If you're already subscribed, and if you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button for us. And we'll get to your questions. So let's move on to the next game here. We have a couple left, man. We're doing not great on time, but we'll try to fly. We'll try to fly through these, man.
I'll be all right.
All right. You just let me know, man. You just let me know. So next game we have on the slate here, the 2-3 Cincinnati Bengals at the 2-3 New Orleans Saints. A lot of parity in the league this year. I'm loving it. We have Cincinnati favored by 2 with a 43-point over-under. We have Jameis Winston dealing with his fractured vertebrae, who was out last week. He's listed as questionable. You have Andy Dalton taking the QB1 snaps. We have T. Higgins listed as questionable, dealing with that ankle that we've been talking about. Hayden Hurst with his groin, he's questionable. Mike Thomas has already been ruled out for the 2nd week in a row. We've been talking about Olave so far, dealing with his concussion. That was scary. We'll see if he, is active this week. I almost, just as a human being, I would hope he sits. Obviously, for fantasy purposes and stuff, you'd like to see him out there and just, for him to be out there and be cleared enough to get out there, man. But and someone brought it to my attention, just because you get knocked out doesn't mean you had a concussion. So as long as it, wasn't a serious concussion, hopefully he'll be back. Jarvis Landry dealing with that ankle still. He was a DNP today, did not practice. So let's start, excuse me, with the quarterback. We're starting Burrow. So how do you feel
Yeah.
about Andy Dalton or Winston if or how are you feeling about Winston if he plays? And if he doesn't, how are you feeling about Dalton?
The Winston, if he plays, I probably won't start. It's pretty middle of the pack Cincinnati pass defense, but I think that injury is still going to be affecting him if he does play. Andy Dalton, don't really trust Andy Dalton. So I mean,
Right,
he
enough
might
said.
win some games, but he's not going to put up enough numbers to be fantasy relevant.
Okay. And if Olave doesn't play, it's looking kind of scary as far as the pass catchers go. No Landry, no Thomas, no Olave. So they're down to their wide receivers 4 and 5 and 6. Traquan Smith, Marcus Callaway, and a couple other guys that I didn't even know were on the team. So as far as Smith and Callaway, as far as the guys I do know, we're pretty much staying away from that wide receiving core this week, or is there a sneaky play there you like?
I'll take the wide receiver 2. I don't no. There's no way I'm feeling confident starting any of these guys.
No Smith or Callaway. Yeah, I'm right there with you. So let's flip over to the other side of the ball, or the other team, I guess you would say. It's not the defensive side, still on the offense. But Tyler Boyd, obviously we're starting Jamar Chase. If Higgins is, well, let me throw that in there. If Higgins does play, are we starting him? Are you just going to fade him, with the risk of re-injury and not finishing the game? And how do you feel about Tyler Boyd?
I will fade T. Higgins for a week. If you have somebody you trust in your lineup, I'd much rather play them over T. Higgins. I think they're kind of forcing the issue with this. I'd feel a lot more comfortable with Tyler Boyd.
Okay. And if T. Higgins does just flat out sit and he's not going to, be some type of decoy or something like that, how do you feel about the other Mike Thomas, not Michael Thomas, but Mike Thomas?
I forgot about him.
From Cincinnati. We've seen him, when Higgins has gotten hurt now, 2 times. We've seen him actually get targets. He's dropped a couple touchdowns that literally hit him in the worst spot, right in the hands. So it's kind of tough. But how do you feel about Mike Thomas if you're in a spot? Are you starting him or are you looking elsewhere?
Burrow seems to trust him. I wouldn't start him. I think he'll be mostly touchdown dependent, and I don't like banking on that. So I think from a PPR aspect, I mean, what are you really going to expect from Thomas? Like 8 points?
All right, you have to be in a real serious situation, right, to have to throw him in your lineup. So, what about Taysom Hill? Are you getting him in? Are you finding a spot for him if you're streaming tight end this week?
Yeah,
just throw him in there, right? He has a chance to score every week, right?
Why not?
To the moon or 0, right? And then
you playing Taysom Hill over Kyle Pitts?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then if Hayden Hurst is out, man, I was trying to do my research on. Drew Sample's on IR. I don't even know any of these other tight ends on Cincinnati, so I'm fading them. Hopefully it's a big Jamar Chase game. We'll see. He's going to be dealing with Marshawn Lattimore, which is kind of tough. So Bengals might have a little tough spot this week, but we'll see what happens. I'm liking Tyler Boyd just kind of more and more now that I'm talking about it. So get Tyler Boyd in your lineups if you can, guys. Might be the start of the week there. So let's see. So anybody we missed there? I think we covered that. You want to move on to this next game here? Baltimore and Giants. Baltimore is coming in at 3-2 against your 4-1 New York Giants. Shout out to Classic Mike. They're doing the damn thing over there. The NFC least is turning into the NFC beast. All the good teams over there, when we thought this was going to be the laughingstock division of the league. That's why I love football. You never know. It's not played on paper. It's played every Sunday on the field. We have Baltimore coming in, though, still favored at 5.5. 45-point over on this one. Saquon Barkley, who left that London game with a shoulder, went to the locker room, came back, practiced all week. He's active. He's going to play. Basically, Giants are in the same situation the Saints are right now. None of their wide receivers are healthy. They're all on IR, hurt. We're seeing guys like David Sills, Darius Slayton making a comeback over here. I don't even know who else they got over there. Richie James,
Wando might make an appearance.
Oh, he might be in there. He didn't even make my show sheet. I thought he was out too. Him and Darius Stoney are both just dealing with crazy injuries and who knows what kind of doghouses. But how you feeling about? Let's just start there with the receivers. Are you any of these Giants wide receivers finding your
Nope.
lineup this week? All right, enough said
I'll,
there.
I'll flex Wando. I'll flex
Okay.
Wando.
If he's active, you would flex him. All right.
Yeah, I'm looking on Sleeper. They said he's questionable, but expected to play.
Okay.
And I want to see what Wandale can do, man. This regime used a draft pick on him, and I'm excited to see what Brian Dable has up his sleeves.
All right, let's check it out. Well, I'll be watching, of course, your 4-1 Giants. On the other side, let's talk about Devin Duvernay. I mean, is he pretty much a start for you right now with Bateman out, dealing with that foot, second week in a row?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll start Duvernay. I like the volume he's seen. They use him in all areas of the field. They got him deep. They got him short. They got him running the ball. Yeah, he's
all
very
over.
versatile. I like it.
There it is. Get him in your lineups. We have Demarcus Robinson. Is he a sneaky start in there? Is he flexible or are you fading?
I'll fade. I think there's better options available in deep leagues. I don't hate it.
Okay. Wandale Robinson or Demarcus Robinson?
Wandale.
Okay. And then obviously we're starting Andrews. What do you think about a little Bellinger action?
I like Daniel Bellinger.
I have him on a best ball teams. Let's go. Got that rushing touchdown last week, man. What's up with that? That was awesome.
I like it. He's seeing a very steady workload in his offense. 3 targets in the last 3 games, at least 3 targets in the last 3 games, and the dude looks like he's competent in the offense. I like Daniel Bellinger a lot.
Good athlete.
Solid streaming option.
There you go. Then let's go backwards here. Daniel Jones still dealing with that ankle. Even with the ankle, he was running around, designed runs last week in London. With guys on bye this week, is Daniel Jones getting in your lineup? Would you start him over someone like, who's been struggling? Stafford, Wilson? Like, is it that bad yet? Or are you still, you going to still roll with those guys over DJ?
I probably still roll with the other guys. Yeah,
especially with no options at wide receiver, right? It's going to be a safe game. All right,
it's just wait and see with one. I don't know if he's actually going to be good or not. The dude's like 5'8" or something,
right?
So,
gadget type guy. And then we have J.K. Dobbins, who it sounds like we're both starting this week as well too. So he's up there for both of us, I believe.
Absolutely.
There it is. All right, so we'll move on. Keep the questions coming, guys. We see them. We're just going to, again, try to bang out some of these games. This is our last 1 o'clock game. And then we'll answer some questions here before we get into the 3, 4 o'clock games. And then we'll try to wrap it up here and try to get out of here at the 2-hour mark. So we'll see how it goes. So Tampa Bay 3-2 coming in, playing against your Pittsburgh Steelers, not yours or mine, just the royal your Pittsburgh Steelers that are 1-4 right now. Obviously made the QB change to Kenny Pickett. We have Tampa Bay coming in favored by 9.5, 46.5, or just 46 point over under. Julio Jones doubtful with the knee. I'm sure we're all shocked with that. Looks like Cameron Brate is over his or cleared the concussion protocol. He looks like he's going to play. But the Muth, his concussion is going to keep him out of this game. Looks like, Godwin, Evans, Gage, they're all off the, injury report, so they're slated to play. But let's start with the quarterback here. We're obviously starting Tom Brady. We won't talk about that. But does Kenny Pickett see your lineup? Have you seen enough out of him, or are you still, sticking with like kind of the top 12 or 15? Where do you have him at?
I have him just on the outside range. If you need to stream a quarterback this week, I do like Kenny Pickett as an option through 52 pass attempts versus arguably the best defense in the league, and only 1 interception for a rookie on his first start. That shows a lot to me. I like the direction he's headed. I don't know if this game's going to be actually great for him, but I would like to see some progression. Obviously, he's got the legs. He can, get some rushing yards, pick up some first downs, and I don't think I would start him quite yet, but he's a decent streaming option if, you're limited on options.
Cooper Rush or Kenny Pickett?
Dang. I'll take Kenny Pickett.
Mariota or Pickett?
Pickett.
Daniel Jones or Pickett?
Daniel Jones.
Okay. All right. I found the line.
Yeah.
Had to find it. All right. Good stuff. I like just throwing stuff at you like that. It's awesome. I like seeing you on the spot.
Looking confused.
Yeah,
Face
it's good stuff. Good stuff. I like to see the wheels turning. So we're obviously starting Evans. We're starting Godwin, I assume. What about Russell Gage? Do you think he has an opportunity to do anything this week, or are you going to fade Gage?
I'm gonna fade. I'm gonna fade all receivers in Tampa Bay outside of Godwin and Mike Evans.
Sounds good enough for me. One of the big questions this week: are we starting Najee Harris? What do you do with Najee? Kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but
The bad part about it is because of the draft capital you spent, you probably don't have like a lot of other options but to start Najee. Realistically.
Well, let's think about realistic scenarios. Ramondre Stevenson probably drafted as your RB3 or RB4. Are you starting him over your first round pick, Najee Harris, this week?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Okay. What about someone like Jeff Wilson, who you got off the waiver wire? Are you starting Jeff Wilson over Najee this week?
Yeah.
What about Breece Hall, who you drafted as probably an RB3?
Absolutely. Not even.
All right.
Kind of.
What about Darrell Henderson, who you probably drafted late? Are you starting Darrell Henderson without Cam Akers this week over Najee?
That's a little tougher, but I'll probably go with Darrell Henderson.
Okay.
Carolina sucks against the run.
All right. What about someone like James Robinson, where you don't like that matchup? Are you starting James Robinson over Najee this week?
No.
Okay. What about Raheem Mostert over Najee?
No.
Okay. I found the line. Good stuff. All right.
That's pretty low there.
I told you. Hey, we were talking. Hey, he's in the 20s, man. It's crazy, right? And
Yeah,
those are all guys that you drafted, at RB3, RB4, or picked up off the waiver wire. So that's why I wanted to give you some of those, kind of realistic scenarios that people might be facing. So hope that helped some people out there. So as far as let's stick with the Pittsburgh side of the ball and talk about their pass catchers. We've talked about Deontay Johnson a lot. I assume he's probably a start with his target share. What about Claypool and Pickens? Spend a little time on those guys.
52 attempts. I think each of them got 8 targets last week. I think you could see a similar situation where the Buccaneers get up big and Pickett has to throw the ball 40, 45 times or something. So, I mean, it's not a bad start. None of these receivers are bad starts. Pickett, Pickens, Claypool, Deontay, if you need a start. I have
no Muth too. No Muth. So it kind of
I have
bumps them
Claypool the lowest, but if you're in a position where like you are, where you're starting Josh Reynolds or something.
I was gonna literally say, who are you going? Are you going Claypool or are you gonna go Alec Pierce? Because that's a realistic scenario I have. Okay, see, I have Alec Pierce in there, but Claypool's on the wire, and I'm kind of like, do I go Claypool just on an off chance?
They're pretty close though. They're very close, but
okay.
I do like Alec Pierce.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. I'm right there with you, man. So that's cool there. We already talked about Tampa Bay wide receivers. Let's talk about tight ends real quick. Gentry and Hayward are the backups behind Muth. Do you think any one of them are going to be relevant this week?
No.
Okay. And then I think you said earlier you actually like Otton over Brate this week.
I do.
All right. So we'll leave that there. You want to get in a couple questions here. We'll try to fly through them quickly. We'll just kind of take the quick ones, not like full team trades for those guys. Make sure you just drop those in the private sleeper channel. Hit that description and get in that link. But we'll try to just get to your quick start sits here. So hopefully you guys are still watching. That dropped the questions. I think this is where we left off here. Tony Clark said, and we don't need full explanations on this. We'll just try to go rapid fire. Hunt no, we already did this one. That's where we actually literally left off. There we go. So that was just a warm up, right? That was just a warm up.
Trying to get the synapses firing.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So Kenny says, which wide receiver would you trade? Oh no, we
did this one.
All right. So this is where we were. Ooh, defensive question. Ravens or Pats D? Mike's not here. I don't do defenses. I don't even rank defenses. I don't even care. But we got Ravens going against the Giants, and we have Patriots going against. Who are they going against? Cleveland.
Oh wow. Give me the Pats. The Ravens are the worst team in passing offense or passing defense this year.
Yeah, they didn't have their secondary, getting their secondary back. It's kind of a little misleading, but I'd still go Patriots myself too. We're trying to go rapid fire. See, I can't help myself, man. I can't just give you guys one answer. I got to explain it to you guys and let you know where I'm thinking. We got sober. I need to have some sober thoughts. So sober thoughts in here saying, so I have to drop one: Algier, Hines, Madison, Ayuk, or Reynolds.
Monroe's back. I'm dropping Reynolds.
I'm dropping Reynolds too, and he's on a bye week. So if it's especially to open up a spot this week, just drop Reynolds. He's kind of one of those communal wide receivers that everybody kind of just use during bye weeks when you need him, but he has no value, so you just kind of keep him on the wire.
For the streets.
Exactly. Would you trade Devonta Smith for Zeke full PPR?
No.
Yeah, it really depends on. I mean, if you're really hurting for a running back, like Javonte Williams went down, and you got like Jeff Wilson, and he's not going to be relevant in a couple weeks, then I'd probably take the running back. There's other wide receivers like we were just talking about, Josh Reynolds, that you can pick up. Damn it, I'm trying to be quick. I just can't help myself. I can't help myself. So Tony said he's cashing out right now. He's heading to his room. He sat with 9 and he ended up with 21.5. So it was a nice day. So congratulations, Tony. He's probably back up in the room, hanging out, chilling with us now. So congratulations. And I'm sure you'll be back up there in the morning on the grind, my guy. So Kenny just said he's looking for a solid RB2 in exchange for Smith. I would try to shoot a little higher than Zeke then in that case. And again, try to, package something up and maybe get, maybe like a Miles Sanders you might be able to do a little switch with, like someone to kind of.
How do you feel about Ramondre?
I mean, I sold Ramondre. I don't want a New York or New England running back, man.
That's fair.
It's just I was just waiting for him to have his pop-off game, and I wanted to sell him off, and I was able to do that, and so I'm happy. That's just me. I have him in best ball though. Like I'll take him in best ball, but I had a lot of them in best ball, but I'm not trying to decide when to start him.
I like Miles Sanders. I like David Montgomery. Maybe even a Tony Pollard or something.
Yeah, like I would shoot, kind of up there, like maybe an AJ Dillon if you really can. But if anything, I'm trying to put Devonta Smith with somebody else to try to really trade for, someone, maybe that's struggling, maybe a Kamara, somebody like that, Well, Kamara's buy window, I think, closed a little bit. So after that 90 receiving yards and 100 rushing yard game. So I had a trade request come into me. I would give up Kyle Pitts and Lazard for Ertz and Juju. I don't care about the receiver part. Kyler Pitts is killing me. Should have listened to us, Lucius. I'm telling you. I'm super deep at wide receiver, and he doesn't play Lazard. So basically, would you trade Pitts and Lazard for Ertz and Juju?
Yeah.
I would too. Yeah, if you're looking to get off it. Because that's the biggest thing, guys, is play fantasy football with guys you want. Like, don't have guys in your team that you're just pissed off with every week. At least if you're going to lose with guys that you don't mind losing with. Not guys that you just know are just draining your soul. So yeah, go ahead and make that trade, my guy. Should I drop Garrett Wilson for Alec Pierce? Let's go. Are you there yet on that one?
Yeah, I don't think Garrett Wilson will get picked up right away. Zach Wilson doesn't look like a super high volume passing kind of guy. Joe Flacco's not coming back anytime soon because they're winning games. So
there it is. I think I'm right there with you too. I'd rather, Pierce looks like he has just a little bit better role at the moment. We don't know, what's going to happen after this Sunday. You never know. He could have a 2-touchdown game and Pierce could go back to getting 2 targets for 7 yards. But as of what we've seen so far, what we're projecting, I'm leaning Pierce as well. So we got Lucius. Other wide receivers are Debo, AJ Brown, Hollywood have a chance to win the league, but watching Pitts go for 2 targets is demoralizing. Yeah, so definitely move on him.
You're preaching to the choir, brother.
He's right there with you. I'm not. I'm just sitting back laughing to all you guys who took Pitts. Mike and I were trying to tell you, man. Earlier you said Waddle over Duvernay. Oh, so he's calling one of us out.
Probably me.
One of you? Okay. I'm gonna go see. Let me go check my rankings on that
one. Yeah, I have Waddle pretty low. I do like Duvernay, but Waddle just has a much bigger he's got a much bigger ceiling to me. Like he can take any catch to the house at any moment. I don't think Duvernay quite has that ability.
Not quite yet. He has good hands though. But I have Waddle at 18. I have Duvernay at 31. I might move him up a bit, but I might move Waddle down a bit. But like I said, I couldn't get him too down farther than that. We got Drew Laura in the house. What's up, man? Hopefully you're still here with us. If not, hopefully you're watching. The next day. We always get to your question eventually. He says, "What's up, fellas? Start one running back, one flex, full PPR. Benjamin, Travis Etienne, and Romeo Dobbs. So let's start with one running back out of Eno and Etienne. Who you got?"
Picking one right off the rip. I'm gonna go with Eno.
Just volume, right? Not sharing the backfield for the most part. He should get the goal line look. So I'm with you there. Who you got for the flex and full PPR? Are you going to go Etienne or Dobbs?
I'm going Etienne. I do believe in Etienne a lot. And yeah, I just think they're going to get the ball to him and put him in open space, put him in position to succeed and increase that volume.
I'm a big Etienne fan here, so I'm going with the two running backs in that one as well, Drew. So good luck, but I know you'll be here on Sunday. Ask Classic Mike. Ooh, that's a little tongue twister. I know you value his opinion high as well too. I'd be interested to see what he has to say about that one as well. So there it is. So we got AJ in the house saying, should I start Coleman or Pierce since Higgins is a risk? So Tevin Coleman or Alec Pierce?
Pierce.
Me too.
With Coleman, you're really just hoping he scores a touchdown.
Yeah, and we know those are unpredictable. So, and they were up big last week for the most part. They knew that game wasn't there, so why risk Wilson? Taysom Hill, baby, absolutely. We got Marty in the house saying, well, fellas, in other news, the Kings absolutely donkeyed the Lakers tonight. That's terrible, man. Waiting for the opener, man. Shout out to the NBA starting on the 18th. I believe it's Warriors Lakers starting out. I am a LeBron fan. Sorry about that. I know that's not a very popular take with everybody. I don't really have a team when it comes to basketball. I just like players. I'm a LeBron fan. I don't think he's like crazy God or anything like that. I'm still Jordan over LeBron, but I think LeBron's definitely right there. That's a discussion for another day. Tony Clark said Lattimore is out. Oh, that's right. He is out. So maybe what's his face is gonna. How did I not have that on my sheet? Good looking out, Tony. As soon as you said that, I remember that too now. So I might have to check that out. Against Cincinnati. So Jamar Chase. You're firing him up anyway, but I'm feeling a lot better about. I'm feeling a lot better about Jamar Chase now. Then I'm not as crazy about Boyd now that you say that, but they should eat. That should be good. All right, so we got Rashad White again. Another Rashad White question, or Garrett Wilson. I don't know what's going on with Rashad. This is the most we've talked about him all year long, all in one stream. So it's Rashad White week.
This is the community lifting somebody up right now. I'm watching it before my very eyes.
Absolutely, I have to go Wilson.
I'll go Rashad White.
Really? All right, go for it. I like it. We're split on that one. So there it is.
Actually, if you're playing a person of that caliber, I think you're kind of hoping for a ceiling. So I guess Wilson.
Yeah, I'm gonna go at least with the receiver that's at least kind of starting, so to speak. Yeah. But yeah, so Reggie Cook, what's up, Reggie?
What's up, man?
New to me. I don't know if I've seen your name in here. If I have, I apologize. But what's up, man? I hope you hit that subscribe button for us if you haven't already. We always get to your question here, so hope you didn't abandon us. But he says Isaiah McKenzie or Tyler Boyd. That's tough. I think I got Boyd. Had I not known about that Lattimore thing, I would have been like, "Oh, Boyd," immediately. But
I'm gonna go McKenzie.
Okay.
KC has that rookie cornerback that kind of got ate up by Devontae Adams.
That's right.
I do like Buffalo's ability to get McKenzie the ball. No Jamison Crowder. I think McKenzie's gonna feast. Boyd's gonna have a good game too. I don't think you can go wrong with either one.
Nice. Yeah, I like Boyd a little bit more than McKenzie on that one, but definitely a nice matchup, and definitely has the better quarterback thrown to him, so I can't argue either way. Mm-hmm. So, well done. So Perry said, trying to clear something up here, says, I wasn't clear enough earlier. I was getting trading. Still not clear, but that's okay. I was trading Deontay Johnson, Devonta Smith for Pittman and Jeff Wilson. I don't really care about Wilson, and those wide receivers are on his bench, so should he take Pittman? In that case, then I'm I mean, I think Pittman's the best guy out of this. I like Pittman the most out of these
I feel
guys.
like it's just an
Close,
overpay, though. I feel like you can get somebody better than Pittman for both of these receivers.
right. And if you don't care about Wilson, then what else does he have on his team? Throw a piece in there that you actually like, or someone that has like potential. I mean, don't just make it a wasted throw in, because you're giving him 2 starters, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So get a little something there, at least a handcuff or something, somewhere.
Got to play
I mean,
some
I guess,
offense
I
and
guess,
defense, maybe.
yeah, I was gonna say, I guess technically Wilson is a handcuff, but I'd want something else, at least an up and coming piece. So, and then Kenny's here saying, would you do Joe Mixon and Devonta Smith for Kamara and Lockett?
Oof.
That is tough. I'd rather
No.
have Kamara and Smith.
Yeah.
Let's figure out a way to get Kamara and Smith on the same team.
I don't. I'd keep what you have. I feel like it's pretty lateral. 2 wide receiver 2s, 2 RB1s. Like,
yeah,
that's a personal preference.
Yeah, and also like bye weeks, things like that. So like if it helps you with bye weeks and that kind of thing, then you can maybe make the move. But I don't think one team's getting over on another. Really, it's pretty even. So if it helps you in other areas, check playoff schedules as well too. Maybe see who has a better playoff schedule. I think Cincinnati has kind of a rough playoff schedule. I don't know if I've looked ahead for New Orleans or not. But yeah, so we'll have to check that out. So we'll look into that. Again, buy, sell, trade show on Wednesdays. We'll dive into that stuff there more. So let's bang out the rest of these games, man. Try to get out of here as close to that 2-hour mark as we can. If you guys have any more questions, drop them here. If not, you can always drop them in our private sleeper channel. Hit that description. You'll see the link there to join our sleeper community. So get in there and ask your questions any time of the week, day or night. Myself, Tim, everybody else that's part of the community will get in there. I seen you've been real active in there lately, man. I appreciate that. Helping the peeps out, man. Yeah. So again, from one fellow degenerate to another, much respect for getting in there and doing that. Great contribution to the community.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And it's fun. I enjoy helping people. I take personal questions. If people want to DM me, I don't mind stepping into the forum and helping people out. Like,
that's awesome.
It's fun to me.
Absolutely. It's what we would be doing anyway. So we just throw on a camera. So that's the only difference. So what you see is what you get. All right, man. So let's get into these 4:00 games. We only have 3 of them. So red zone's going to be pretty fucking boring. In the afternoon games, I hate when there's only like 2 or 3 games in the afternoon. There's like 20 in the early slate. And then they got like 2 or 3. I don't know why they don't just
these goddamn bye weeks, man.
Seriously. But either way, first game up is Carolina Panthers, who are 1-4. Obviously just fire their coach and coordinator and all that stuff. They're cleaning house. Possibly CMC's on the trade market. DJ Moore being rumored to be traded as well too. Who knows? A lot of stuff going on. But they're going up against Tim's Los Angeles Rams that are 2-3 right now, coming off the Super Bowl champs. Congratulations. You guys still need to be referred to as the champs. So
put some respect on our name.
I was going to say, until they take it from you, you are the champs. That's why everyone's gunning for you guys. You guys are favored by 10 in this one. I think that's the biggest spread this week. So favored by 10. So hopefully this is a get right game. See how I did that? Get right game for you guys here. 41.5 point over under. Obviously the big news here, Baker Mayfield dealing with that ankle. I believe it's a high ankle sprain. He's listed as doubtful. But they said he actually might be active and be just more kind of an emergency backup type role. So that means PJ Walker is going to be getting the start this week. Late news today and weird news with Cam Akers. If you guys haven't heard, I'm sure you have. If you're on this here, I'm sure you have heard this, but he's out due to personal reasons for whatever reason. Did not practice, will not play. So I'm sure there's more to come there. Cooper Kupp, who I'm sure a lot of people's hearts dropped when they seen him show up on the injury report. He's dealing with that foot issue, listed as questionable. Other than that, looks like everybody else, as far as the offensive side of the ball, is good to go. So let's start, with the quarterbacks here. Normally Stafford wouldn't be in this position, but you're sitting there starting Stafford this week. How you feel? No, without any bias. I know it's going to be hard.
Yeah. I try my best to be as brutally honest about these Rams as possible.
I know.
Carolina is
they're decent. They're pretty middle of the pack against the pass offense. They are 17th.
No Jeremy Chin.
I think it's going to be a heavy run game, but Cooper Kupp's going to get his. You don't got to worry about that. Honestly, the biggest question mark is, are they going to get Allen Robinson involved? I think they're going to have a lead. This offense isn't bad. It's the O-line. Carolina's defensive line isn't that great. So it's truly an enigma this week. I'll start Matthew Stafford.
All right. What about PJ Walker?
No.
Yeah, I'm fading him too. Darrell Henderson, I assume we both have him starting with Cam Akers out. So we probably don't need to talk much about that. We've kind of mentioned them here throughout the show. If you had to choose between Robinson and Skronik, which one are you throwing in there?
Robinson.
Okay. DJ Moore on the other side of the ball, kind of pulling his own. Allen Robinson, you like DJ Moore, Allen Robinson more?
DJ Moore.
Okay, even with PJ Walker throwing him the ball. Is Robbie Anderson sniffing your lineups at all? Go ahead, you can touch on that. DJ
Moore. Robbie Anderson's not touching my lineups. I mean, I think I do like these backup quarterback situations. PJ Walker, I believe, was an MVP in the AAF or the AFL, whatever that happened, whatever that was. So he's a slinger. He can throw the ball. He's not necessarily good or anything, but he's not afraid to let it loose. And I'm interested to see what happens with DJ Moore. New offensive system, new coach. Let's see what happens.
Would win for the Gipper kind of game going on for Carolina. As long as they just funnel the ball through DJ Moore and CMC, I'll be happy. So let's go, PJ Walker, get him the ball. So let's see who else we got in here. Tyler Higbee, I assume we're starting, given the landscape of tight end at the moment.
Till further notice.
Absolutely. Target hog over there. We're probably not starting any of these Carolina tight ends, Trimble or whoever else they got over there.
No. Strictly starting CMC and DJ Moore, and that's it.
Pretty much it. I'm with you there. All right, so that's easy enough. Let's get on to this next one here, which is the Bonanza. I guess you would say, I don't know if I could take that from the Fantasy Football Today podcast. I apologize. Nothing intended there. But it's just a kind of game of the week. I guess I could say that. We got our guy here, Tony Clark, obviously betting the farm. On this one, we have the 2-3 Cardinals going against the 2-3 Seahawks. So birds versus birds. We have Arizona favored by 2.5, 50.5 point over under. Big news here: the running backs, all the running backs for Arizona basically are out. James Conner dealing with the rib issue, left last game early. So he's been ruled out this week. We have Darrell Williams dealing with the knee. He's out. Jimmy Ward also went out last game with a hamstring, and he just went straight to IR immediately. So he's out. So obviously that opens the door for Eno Benjamin. And as you've mentioned, Keontae, is that how you say it? Keontae, thank you. Keontae Ingram. So you're the dynasty guy. I knew you knew that one. Keontae Ingram. So out of those guys, we've talked about Benjamin a lot kind of so far here. If you can pretty much get him in your lineups because he's going to have that volume on a good offense who should be able to score. But let's talk about Geno Smith just for a second. Is he a must start this week?
Yeah, I think he's a QB1 till further notice. I mean, I think he's kind of earned it. The dude's performing. Absolutely.
And again, Tony Clark's betting on that 231.5 or something like that. He's taking the over, so he expects a big game there. Obviously Ken Walker coming in for Rashad Penny, who's out for the year with that broken tibia or fibula, whatever it is. But unfortunately, he's out. We wish him a speedy recovery. But that opens the door for their rookie draft pick, Ken Walker, who sounds like we're finding ways to get him in the lineup this week. But I want to ask about DJ Dallas. Does he have a role, or is this Walker's backfield all to his own?
He has a very small role. Think he'll kind of be like a third down back. Kenneth Walker's not necessarily known for his pass catching. He's not bad, but he did go to Michigan State where they don't really throw the ball to the running backs. So I think keeping in that tradition, DJ Dallas is going to be that pass catching back.
If Travis Homer was healthy and playing, I think he'd be a sneaky start as well too, because he's clearly their third down back. So we'll see. And then as far as the Arizona side of the ball there, with the wide receivers, we're obviously starting Hollywood Brown. How do you feel about Rondell Moore and AJ Green is back as well? Are we getting them in lineups, or are we fading both of those guys, or one or the other?
I'll take Rondale. I think he's a nice little slot option. They'll find ways to get him the ball, and in a deeper league, if you need a flex, I don't mind Rondale at all.
Okay. But he's not up there with like Alex Pierce or Rondell Moore, right? Or
no, I'm taking it's a clear tier break for me.
Cool. So wanted to make sure, and then definitely a tier gap before AJ Green down there. So as far as the other side, Metcalf and Lockett, sounds like most people starting Lockett, obviously wide receiver 8. He's been mentioned a lot tonight. The surprise one is DK Metcalf. Obviously could have had a huge 3-touchdown game last week. Ends up with just one. But Arizona's kind of been known for taking out the number 1 wide receiver on opposing teams. They've been really good at that. So are you pretty much starting DK in this one? Do you drop him down in your rankings at all? Or is he just surefire start him up?
I'm starting him up. He's a wide receiver too for me.
Yeah, I agree.
The athleticism is just unmatched.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. Him and AJ Brown, they're like the muscle the muscle brothers or whatever. Every time I think of them, I just think of that picture. It's just outrageous. And all the memes that come from it. Like these two guys are professional football players, and then they'll have like Rodrigo Blankenship. Like this guy's a professional athlete too. So
Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's also a wide receiver in the NFL. So yeah, that's just too funny. So anyway, so that's that. Are we missing anybody here? Will Disley? Is he a streamable option this week at tight end?
He is. He's a streamable option. I don't hate it. He's had at least 10 points in 3 of 5 games this year. 3 touchdowns in each of those games. I don't mind it at all.
Absolutely. All right. And then, of course, we're starting Ertz. So I think we pretty much wrap that up there. I just want to say here, Drunk Squidward, we got him in the house making an appearance. So what's up, man? He's saying, who would you start on the flex? Kareem Hunt, James Robinson, or DJ Moore? I meant to ask this while we were still in the Carolina game, but I'll get to it now.
Dang, it's between Hunt and DJ Moore. I'll give the slight edge to DJ Moore. Very slight edge.
I was going to say it's close to me between Moore and Hunt as well. Just to be different, I'll go Hunt. Just if you need a floor play, if you need a potential ceiling play, I think Hunt is still even the ceiling play too. So I think I'm leaning Hunt a little more confidently on that one. But again, that's just me. So again, is what it is. Good luck either way, Squidward, on that one, man. It's a tough little spot you're in there. I just want to see what happens with DJ Moore and PJ. It's just tough with PJ Walker,
right?
So that's why I kind of lean Hunt. Like we know what to expect. Robinson's kind of been fading, so that's why I just kind of lean Hunt. You kind of know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah, but I like it.
I like Hunt a lot. Like I said, Cleveland is one of the worst run defenses in the league, so the opportunity is definitely there for a touchdown, maybe
Absolutely.
2.
Absolutely. Drunk Squidward saying start Geno, start DK, and start Walker. So we're all there with you on that. And then Trevor Homer is on IR if I remember, and I remember. I hope I hit that mute button.
Yeah, enough. You got it. You're good.
Ooh, that was close. Now my audio is all messed up, but we'll get it back. Do I sound okay?
Yeah. Now I wonder what you sneeze like. Like what sound?
Oh, you don't want to hear it. It'll make everybody jump. Yeah, I sneeze loud.
You got that old man sneeze? Where
yeah, that yeah, for sure. Like I scare people like when I sneeze. Like my daughter will wake up like out of dead sleep, and jump. So it's all crazy. So John in here. What's up, John? Still hanging out with us, baby. What's up? Yes, You're a trooper, a true degenerate. You belong here with us, my guy. He says thoughts on Elijah Mitchell going forward. I think he's the Niners running back 1 when he gets back. He shows the talent. If Wilson was that much better than him, he would have took the job this offseason. It was clearly his opportunity. He was getting all the looks. before he went down. So it's an Elijah Mitchell show.
I think it's going to be, they're going to work him in a little slowly. Like you're going to see Jeff Wilson get some touches early on and kind of split that backfield. But much like what's going on in Jacksonville, you're just going to see the talent rise to the top. And you're going to see Elijah Mitchell just take over. I got no audio from you. Yeah, you're good. You're back.
See, that sneeze just jacked everything up. That's what I'm saying.
You're good.
Everything got away. So John's saying, do you guys assist with my rosters by chance? We do, man. So again, hit that description of this video. On the very top, you'll see the link to our private sleeper channel. If you don't have sleeper already, just make an account. It's free. It's free to join. And then you can actually start a thread and just say, hey, looking for feedback on my roster. Go into the comments of it. You can upload a screenshot of your team, and just whatever kind of feedback you're looking for. Should I make some trades? Whatever. We'll all jump in and give you our 2 cents for sure. We definitely don't lack any of that. So you'll probably get 3-4 guys coming in at least what they feel you could do to your team to make it better. And again, it's great because again, there's no trolls in there, man. We don't just like hate on you or anything like that, man. It's all love in there. We really help you out, and we all want to help lift each other up. So definitely get in there and check it out, man. He said, but he did scoop up Mitchell off waivers once he got dropped post week 1, free running back 2 if I wait. Yeah, so
it's easy money
up there. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's definitely good stuff.
Free money.
Absolutely. Drunk Squidward saying, would you guys sell Hollywood or keep him with D-Hop coming back? I might sell high. Me personally, I'm not that big of a Hollywood Brown fan, but I've kind of been counteracted with a lot of people. I knew this time was coming, and I didn't want to deal with the issue with D-Hop coming back or not. I actually liked Hollywood a lot more before he was traded off of the Ravens, and once he made the trade, knowing he was coming back, and the potential emergence, of Rondale Moore and whether they were going to keep, Kirk or not. I mean, Kirk got dealt early, but it just still seemed too crowded in Arizona there. So I kind of faded him. So I didn't want to put myself in this position right now. I'd rather just draft a guy in that spot I knew was pretty much going to be there all year, or I knew what his role was going to be at that time. But how do you feel?
I'm holding Hollywood with the understanding I think they're going to force feed DeAndre Hopkins the ball when he comes back, and then they're going to realize this probably isn't working. Let's get the ball to Hollywood.
Okay, so that's a good take.
Expect some down slopes for Hollywood, but I expect it to come back up.
Okay. So well said. So we'll try to wrap up these last 2 games here. Maybe get out by 2:15. We might be able to wrap it up.
Hey,
let's try. All right. So we got next game. This should be easy too. Buffalo 4-1 versus Kansas City 4-1 should be the game, of the week. Can't wait for this one. I'm surprised this wasn't the Sunday night game. But either way, they put it in the afternoon for us to maybe make up for only having 3 games. So probably a lot of eyes will be on this one. We have Buffalo favored by 3, a 54-point over-under, so they're expecting fireworks. As far as injuries go, Isaiah McKenzie, who we talked about earlier, was dealing with a concussion. He's been cleared. He will be active and playing this Sunday. Jamison Crowder, of course, is still out with that broken ankle. Dawson Knox, as we mentioned, dealing with that foot and ankle. He will be active this week. So obviously we're starting the quarterbacks here. We're not going to even talk about that. But some guys that we do have questions about, Devin Singletary, who we kind of mentioned earlier, but give me your take on him again. As far as running backs go, Singletary and CEH, how do you like these guys?
I think Singletary is going to be a little they're both going to be a little touchdown dependent. CEH very inefficient. I don't think he'll be that efficient this game. This Buffalo defense is stout. Singletary, he'll have a little bit more PPR relevance. But still, if he plays, there's better options available.
All right. And I think a little sneaky play is Jerick McKinnon. How do you feel about him this week? He saw 8 carries for 53 yards and 2 catches on 3 targets for another 19 yards. Found the end zone in week 2 against the Chargers in the air. Has some usage. Played his most snaps at 53% of the snaps last week against Las Vegas. So he's a sneaky little play in a flex if you need it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Buffalo's defense is just really good.
Well said.
Number 2 rush defense, number 5 pass defense. Granted, this is KC we're talking about. Andy Reid's going to find a way. Jerick McKinnon's not really a guy I want to bet on.
All right. Fair enough. And so we'll move on. Obviously, we're not starting Pacheco yet. He's still needs a lot to prove. Same thing with Zach Moss. I don't think he's seen your lineups this week. If you disagree with that, let me know or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, we'll move on to the wide receivers in this game. Diggs, of course, is the no-brainer. How do we feel, of course, about Gabe Davis? And while you give your answer, I'll just throw this up there for those who don't know. That's how I feel about Gabe Davis. Stardom.
I
Baby.
mean, I'm not particularly high on Gabe Davis.
Okay.
I'm a target share guy, and Gabe Davis just doesn't have that elite target share, and
So,
so he's not a kind of player I go after.
I got to stop you right there. So you're saying you're saying if instead of scoring a 98-yard touchdown and a 62-yard touchdown, you're saying it would just be much better if they methodically went down the field and got him 3 or 4 targets for 40 yards on the drive, maybe 3-4 targets on that drive. That would be better, and just only 1 touchdown on the game. And instead of those long yardage and that second touchdown, you would just like to see 5 more targets. Is that what it is? Because I think it's a lot misleading sometimes when it comes to that. But yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts on that.
So obviously, you want those long big touchdowns. It's uber efficient.
They have that capability of doing it, right? That's when you can go nuclear.
But I'm a dependability guy, right?
Okay.
So the target share is dependable. They're going to look to get him involved in that game plan, and it's a reliable thing. What's not reliable is 6.7, 2.3, and 32.1. That's not reliable.
Okay.
And that's just a headache for me.
All right. See, I'm boomer bust, man. If you're not first, you're last. So give me a guy that can win me a week. If I have a spot to get him in my lineup, if I have, good solid, depth around him, if I have an elite quarterback, a Mahomes, a Lamar, an Allen, and if I have an elite tight end, a Kelsey, a Andrews, Gabe Davis is like the perfect kind of guy to throw in that type of makeup because you can afford that risk to just really have him blow up your lineup. So again, this just starts, in the off season. That's why you guys got to get here with us. As you see down here, it says home of the Friday night mocks, man. We mock every Friday night during the off season, put these rosters together, understand how to build a team, know where you can take risks. So when it comes to this part of the year, you know what type of guys you need to look for off the wire and who you need to trade for, to get your lineups right. Like how I did that there, right?
Yes, sir.
So there it
basically, you're just saying, I'm not playing Gabe Davis as my wide receiver 2, but as my flex 2 or flex 1, that's where I want it. That's where I want that boomer bust option.
Okay. See, I don't mind him with a lot of my, especially if I have that elite tight end who kind of assumes your wide receiver 1, then that forces your wide receiver 1 into your wide receiver 2, or basically you have 2 wide receiver 1s, and then you throw Gabe Davis right in there as a wide receiver 2. That kind of build. That's what I'm looking for. Just me personally. That's like how I like to play my fantasy football. But
fair enough.
There it is. No, that's good stuff. I always like to challenge people on that whole target big play, theory, because it's like the yardage would have came. So you just rather have them break it up in 10-yard chunks versus the whole 98 yards down the field in one play. So it's an interesting argument to me. That's all. I just like to hear people's takes. So anyway, as far as McKenzie, I know you said you do kind of like him as a flex play this week if you can find a spot if you need to. Khalil Shakur, who I with McKenzie out last week, I said was a start last week. I think he can go back to your bench. How do you feel about him this week?
Yeah, I'm kind of off on Shakir. He's a rookie. They didn't involve him before all these injuries happened. And, he had a nice game last week, but the starters are back.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. On the other side of the ball, we got Juju, MVS, Hardman. What are we doing with these Kansas City wide receivers? Who's how do you just rank the Kansas City wide receivers for me?
Give me Juju, MVS, Hardman, Sky Moore in that order. I'm not touching Hardman, though. MVS and Hardman are both liable to have a big game at any moment. But give me MVS.
They're like 6 for 60 guys, like all of them, right? Mahomes is just spreading the ball to everybody. And when they get in their red zone, it's going to Kelsey, as we saw with 4 touchdown games. So is what it is, man. That's what's
Love
up.
that.
Love that. Yeah, I know you were needing that last week, and I almost got it. I was like, I needed 54 points, man. Just joking around. Remember that?
Yeah.
4 touchdowns. I was like, really? We're gonna really get
It's
there?
happening.
It was crazy. We spoke it into existence, man. This is why we get together. So that's good stuff, man. Dawson Knox, we said if you're streaming tight end, he's one of the ones you can throw in there. You playing Knox or Taysom Hill this week?
Give me Taysom Hill.
You playing Knox or Dalton Schultz this week?
Knox.
Are you playing Knox or who's the last one I want to say? Knox or Gerald Everett?
Oof, that's a good one.
I had to come up with a good one.
Give me Knox.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
There's gonna be a lot of opportunities for Knox to get in that end zone.
All right. That's what he banked on last year, which is interesting because Knox isn't one of those target share guys that you like to talk about. He's that touchdown upside guy, but
none of these tight ends are, though.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll give you that. I just had to give you some shit. All right. So let's get into our last game, man, and then we'll get the hell out of here, dude. I really appreciate you spending the time here, man, coming on with me here on Friday. One of my favorite shows of the week, of course, getting all these games, talking about a lot of players, so I love it. So let's break it down, man. We got the Sunday night football. Actually, we got 2 more games. Damn it. Sorry, I kind of baited you on that one. We still got the Monday night game, but we'll fly through them. We got Dallas coming in at 4-1 versus the last undefeated team in Philadelphia. We got Philly favored by 6.5 with a 42-point over-under. Dak listed as questionable, basically doubtful. They're still thinking week 7, week 8 is when he's coming back, or I think week 8 after their bye. Micah Parsons looks like he is back to full practice, dealing with that groin issue, so he should play. Most interesting thing in this game is CD Lamb popped up late on the injury list. They just did a walkthrough today, being Friday. Why would they be on a Friday walkthrough if they're just playing Sunday night? Either way, apparently they just did a walkthrough today, and he was a DNP due to a hip issue, but they're saying he should play. We did talk about it earlier. Schultz dealing with that PCL. He's now off the injury report, saying he will play, but of course, chance for re-aggravation as he did last week. How you feeling? Let's start with the quarterbacks in this game. Obviously, we're starting Hurts and Rush. You sitting or starting?
I'm gonna go ahead and sit Rush. He's already like a low ceiling guy as it is,
right?
And yeah, I don't want to take any chances.
All right, let's talk about the running back. Sanders, Zeke, Pollard. Rank those guys for me.
Sanders, Zeke, Pollard. Sanders, Pollard, Zeke.
All right, I'll agree with that. Are we starting Lamb this week if they say he is active? With that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're keeping him
without
there.
question.
All right. What about Michael Gallup coming off the ACL, starting to increase his snaps? Does he find the way into the lineup this week?
Yeah.
You like him or Alec Pierce against this Philly secondary?
Give me Michael Gallup. I think
they're gonna have found someone.
They're gonna have to put up points. They're gonna have to try. I think there's gonna be quite a few turnovers from Cooper Rush because I don't think he's like a good quarterback by any means. Okay. He's a good game manager, but
the undefeated, right? The undefeated Cooper Rush.
Yeah, Cooper Crush.
Crush. There it is. Noah Brown, is he basically irrelevant now? I mean, he seemed to still have a decent role, but I don't know if you can feel safe firing him up. So he's out of there. AJ Brown going up against Diggs. Are we looking to sit AJ Brown, or you pretty much got to start him this week?
You got to start both of these guys. This offense hasn't really been stopped. Their worst performance has been in that rain game against Jacksonville. I thought it wasn't a great performance by the offense, but till further notice, I'm starting AJ Brown. I'm starting Devonta Smith because you don't know who's going to go off.
Sounds good. And then we talked about Schultz, quite a bit already. So he's definitely a start. He's better than some of the streaming guys, but definitely, fading him for I mean, well, how do you have like Higby? I mean, you have Higby ahead of Schultz, I assume, with the
Yeah.
target share. All right. And I can't think of any others, so that's fine. So we'll move on, man, and then we'll get out of here. Shout out to Frank. What's up, Frank? Yeah, we're still on, brother. You should have came hopped on, but we're actually trying to wrap it up here, try to get out of here in the next 5 minutes before Reese turns into a little pumpkin here. I'm just kidding. No, I just appreciate you staying on with us this late, man. Really appreciate it. So let's get into the last game, man. Monday Night Football. We got the Denver Broncos coming in at 2-3 against the 3-2 Los Angeles Chargers. Division game. Chargers coming in favored by 4.5 with a 45.5 point over under. Obviously, Russell Wilson dealing with that lat and shoulder injury. He flew out to LA after the game last week to get some type of injection. So we'll see how that all goes. He's expected to play. Mike Boone popped up on the injury report dealing with a foot issue, but they're saying he's a full participant on Friday, and he's expected to play. Keenan Allen's still questionable. We don't know what's going to happen. Oh, it's all right. He'll come back to us. But we don't know what's going to happen about Allen. We've been talking about him. So as far as the QBs go in this game, Russell Wilson, probably the biggest question mark as far as guys. I got you. So biggest question mark is, kind of Russell Wilson. I have him here as starter sit because obviously his production hasn't really matched what we were all expecting. So are you fading Wilson this week for someone like a Trevor Lawrence or, someone like that? Or are you just still rolling him out there, hoping it works out?
I'm still rolling him out. He's been a headache for me this year, but it's hard not to play Russell Wilson. He can still get you a solid 25 points at any moment. I don't think he's completely washed yet.
Okay. You playing Stafford or Wilson?
Give me Stafford against a much worse secondary.
Okay. Fair enough. Obviously, you're going to play Geno over Wilson, though, right?
Yeah, I'll play Geno over Wilson.
Okay. Matt Ryan or Russell Wilson?
Oh, Russell Wilson.
Okay. So there's definite drop off there.
Yeah.
Had we not seen Carson Wentz just put up 4 points, I know it's hard to kind of get that out of your head, but would you have started Carson Wentz ahead of Russell Wilson this week going up against Chicago? Just to kind of put it in some
I might have, honestly. I really might have.
I only say that because I had Wentz as 14 and I had Wilson at 15, so I would have started him as well too.
Yeah, I had Wentz in a few places and he burned me bad.
Yeah. All right. So absolutely. So let's talk about the running backs in this one. Obviously, we're starting Melvin Gordon. Mike Boone, is he flexible, or you think it's pretty much the Melgo show?
Nah, I like Mike Boone this week. The Chargers' run defense is not that great, so I'm cool with firing up Mike Boone.
Okay. Do you think they're going to go kind of more to a split type, offense, or do you think Melgo is going to see 17 to 20 touches?
No, I think it's going to be fairly split. I think both running backs see 12 touches.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range. Mike Boone saw 7 last week on top of 3 targets, and I think that could definitely increase.
Okay. Yeah, and I was kind of slating it in 10 to 12 touches. I don't think they ran a lot of plays that Thursday night anyway. A lot of 3 and outs. They're not able to move the ball and extend drives. So still getting, 10, touches in that game isn't bad for a guy you're picking up off the waiver wire. I personally would try to hold him this week unless you really needed to throw him in a flex. Not a lot of guys I could think of that I would, flex him over. It's kind of rolled down on the list there for me. But again, I just haven't seen too much of them. So, I need to see another game or two. My tune can very well change next week. And in that case, you would be out ahead of us, and the guy should have listened to Tim and not me. So we'll move on that one. So we got those guys taken care of. Obviously, we're starting Eckler. Josh Kelly's not flexible yet, is he? Or
not yet?
Okay. And
completely then touchdown dependent.
Touchdown. Okay. What about wide receivers in this one? With Wilson's bad play, we're still firing up Sutton and Judy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not confidently, but yeah.
Okay. All right. And then how do you feel about Josh Palmer if Allen's still out? Is he flexible?
Yes, he is.
I've sort of found myself becoming more and more out on Josh Palmer. He's somebody I was buying into a lot. Just this offseason in general, hoping that, you know, he could take the next step with any injuries that happen to these wide receiver core, because it happens from time to time. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams have been known to deal with nagging injuries. Yeah. But I wouldn't rely on Josh Palmer. I think you could find a better option. I'd rather have Alec Pierce than Josh Palmer.
Okay. And let's see. Tight ends in this one, Everett and Alberto. Are they senior lineups? I mean, Everett to me is flexible. Alberto, I'm fading.
Yeah, same.
All right, cool. Well, that wraps it up, man. Right at the 2:30 mark, so I won't keep us any longer than this, man. I just want to say thanks, of course, for coming out. Really appreciate the people here. I think we did have a couple questions here, actually. Maybe I want to get to in the chat. What was it here? Oh yeah, John was just asking about his guys here. These are just comments, so we're all good. John, just make sure you drop that question in our in the sleeper channel, and we'll help you out with your roster there, man. Because we're already at 2 hours and 30 minutes, so we're gonna call it a night. So again, I just want to thank you for coming out. Make sure you guys get in the description. Make sure you go sub to the Fantasy Frontline podcast. You guys can catch Tim and AJ on there. So make sure you subscribe. Hit those notifications, and you'll get their content. And of course, I just want to say thank you to you, and good luck to everybody out there, man, this week. And come see us on Sunday. We'll be doing our active inactives and last minute start sit. And other than that, man, anything else you got to say before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity. You know, I love coming on, talking some football, everybody in the chat being interactive. I love it. So good time.
That's why we do this, man. That's why we do it. It's a lot of fun. Cade, sorry, man. We were just in and up here, but I'll get one more question out the door. Damian Pierce or Kenneth Walker rest of the season? Give me Pierce, baby.
Yeah, give me Pierce. Actually, Kenneth Walker has a really hard rushing schedule for the rest of the season. If you could sell high, I wouldn't mind it, honestly, if you can get a better running back.
He's getting Tyreek for it. So would you give up one of those guys for Tyreek?
I'll give up Kenneth Walker for Tyreek in a heartbeat.
All right, so Pierce and Tyreek, basically. So roll with that. So I'd have to agree with that. So that'll be it, man. So again, for myself, for Tim here, for Classic Mike, for Dustin, for Frank, we appreciate everything, guys. Appreciate you for liking and subscribing to the videos. Again, we'll be back with you here on Sunday. And again, if you need us, get in that description, join that sleeper community. And we'll be able to answer your questions then when we're not live. Otherwise, come join us on the streams and come hang out. So again, peace out. You guys enjoy, and we'll see you on Sunday. And good luck.